Clanky and Genie, hello.
It's definitely because my output's not.
Sorry, Mick is dying right
Mick, you
now.
okay?
I have a sesame seed in my eye.
Ow!
I mean, oh, that's so horrible.
Hello?
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
friends.
Oh, hi.
You joined just in time for me to get a sesame seed stuck in my eye.
It's true.
It's
Can
it's
I ask
revenge
what
from
happens?
McDonald's.
Hello and welcome to the Yearlies.
By the way, Christian, I was going to explain that to you.
Yeah, lobsters lactate.
I'm having red lobster right now.
Well, yeah.
Is it,
And-
is it lactating?
Well,
Well,
you see,
so I actually didn't order any lobster, so I thought I got some bacon mac and cheese because I thought some mac and cheese would be good. It's terrible. It's really bad.
Red lobster mac and cheese? Were you expecting it to be delicious?
Well, a little
Yeah.
bit. I mean, I feel like it's not.
Have you had their cheesy bread? It's to die for. I don't even like Red Lobster. And I'll go there just for the cheesy
Everyone
bread.
knows the one reason you go to Red Lobster is for the cheesy bread.
no, the little Cheddar Bay biscuits. Yeah, those,
Yeah, the
cheese
cheddar
biscuits.
biscuits.
Cheese
Oh, yeah,
biscuits.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they're called.
I got half a dozen of those. They're pretty good.
those are awesome.
Yeah, me and Graham can vouch on the cheddar biscuits.
The mac and cheese is terrible, and I was looking at the how the menu describes them. It's a lobster cheese sauce, and immediately I have questions because what's lobster cheese? Do you milk the lobster?
So,
Lobster
can I just say,
lobster?
What part of the lobster makes the cheese?
So
I mean,
I'm gonna
The-
Taylor. I'm gonna suggest something.
Uh-oh.
Is it possible that you're putting the hyphen in the wrong place? That rather than being lobster cheese sauce, it's lobster cheese sauce, as in cheese sauce that you eat with lobster.
There's no lobster in this mac
You
and
know,
cheese.
that makes more sense, but I choose not to believe that.
It
My
makes no sense.
theory.
No, that's the thing. It doesn't make a significantly more amount of sense.
But
But
there is I don't find any pieces of lobster in here.
yeah, no. As in, it's not like lobster flavored cheese sauce. It's cheese sauce intended to be eaten with lobster. However, you're getting a steak, but they're Red Lobster. So what are they gonna give you?
My theory
Lobster
is that,
cheese sauce.
No,
you know
but-
how some cheeses have like little bits of peppers or bits of other things baked
Graham
in?
is-
What if it's a cheese that was made with little bits of lobster made in, like a lobster jack cheese?
Well, they have something similar to that because you can do it without the bacon and actually get bits of shredded lobster. But this is supposed to be their new thing.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hey, Graham.
Hey, Mick.
Yeah. Lobster jack cheese.
Not fond of me lobster, are you?
God damn it.
As they say in the old nursery rhymes, lobster jack cheese and I don't care.
And you better go catch it.
I sure hope it does.
Clanky, you know what that was just then? That was a merging of my two friendships right there. That was like, oh wow, we've been friends that long that Clanky can make Graham jokes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a Clanky original.
Wait,
No, it's one of the Graham files.
Clanky, did you not do that knowing it was a Graham joke?
I say that shit all the time. I didn't know.
Yeah, wait.
Did you just do that to do
It's a
that?
Graham file.
Well, you better go catch it. It's a popular joke, actually.
Clanky, it's not very funny.
Let him out.
But there was no setup for that there, so you better go catch it. And that's exactly why it's a Graham
Who
joke.
cares? There doesn't need to be a setup for it.
Well, you better let him out.
I'm just...
Coachella sucks this year.
Can I just say the real?
I sure hope it does.
Yeah, that's
a
another one
file.
that doesn't need setup.
What's paper?
All right.
Oh,
That-
shit.
That's actually smart.
Before we end the lobster debate, I just want to
Yes.
note that I've been picturing a physical lobster with just like a slightly melted piece of American cheese on top of it, like.
Oh,
that's
like a
that's my
like a
contribution.
lobster
to this
patty melt.
Like
conversation.
it
No, they
Comfortable.
It almost like I brought this from home.
when they went to boil the lobster, they put
Made
slices of
free.
cheese in its claws.
They tuck it.
Yeah.
They tuck it into bed with a slice of cheese. Tell it a
putting
bedtime
lobster
story.
in the
Yeah.
microwave with the cheese on it and like leaving it in there for like 15
We're gonna
minutes.
find out that
Wait,
this is
wait. So
We're
does
gonna
that
find
mean
out that this is a delicacy in Boston called lobster a la Chucky.
do you?
I have a friend now in Boston, so
Oh,
I can
delicious.
ask.
Do you take off the shell of the lobster and then put the cheese on, or does the
I hope
lobster
so.
does the cheese go on top of the lobster and you
the
just ignore it
cheese-
completely?
The cheese goes completely
So,
on,
all seriousness, there is this,
like a blanket.
where you hollow out the lobster and fill it with cheese.
All right, but
Oh,
once
that's a
again,
degenerate.
Lobster, yeah.
I have to say again, there is no lobster.
Yeah, no. That's the thing that doesn't make sense about this. Like, if you ordered lobster, and they gave you lobster cheese sauce, I would have been like, no, okay, no, this is obvious. It's cheese sauce designed to be eaten with lobster. The problem is,
There
Is
there are
that-
chefs. Go ahead.
The problem is that you didn't order lobster, you ordered a steak, and so they instead still gave you lobster cheese sauce.
Well, the mac and cheese was a separate thing they asked for as a side.
Oh, wait a minute, hang on. So, hang on, you got mac and cheese with lobster cheese sauce?
No, I'm saying the mac and cheese, they
It's
bake it.
supposed to be
The
a
cheese they
3-hour
use to
tour.
bake it, they claim, is lobster cheese sauce.
Okay. No, that's what I'm saying. So it's lobster cheese sauce, macaroni and cheese.
Yes,
Okay.
with bacon.
I want all of you to know that I tried to look up lobster with cheese, and I spelt it like this. So
Lobestre.
with cheese.
I thought you say lobster in French.
I didn't read the fine print.
With cheese, Mr. Squidward, with,
With
cheese.
cheese.
One of you was like, would they put the cheese in the shell? I'm like, yeah, you don't have to crack open the shell to get to the lobster. You just bite into the shell to get the cheese.
Oh God! Do you eat the shell or do you spit it out like a
No, you eat the shell. It makes the shell taste.
nice and crunchy, yummy?
Yeah.
Yum 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 on that
Yeah.
shell.
I'll have some fresh shell.
Fresh shell is this?
Ah!
Mm.
Shit, I lost the stream. Hang on.
If you can't get the
Better
stream,
go catch it.
if you
No,
can't
I-
get the stream,
Jesus
go to the
Christ.
bracket.
I sure
No,
hope it
I
does.
no, I had it, but I full screened it, and when I full
Oh,
screened it, it went
God.
away forever.
What's
Hang on, I still
this?
have one more bite of the steak.
We have 5 voters. Each of you will get a chance to vote, and you will verbally confirm to me what your vote is at the end of whatever round we're in, and then I will mark it down on the little tournament thing.
So when you say 5 voters, that's not me as well, right?
Yeah, that is
No,
not you as
No,
well.
you and Jeannie
Right.
don't get to vote, but you do
Okay.
get to be here and have fun.
Yeah, you're like
So then,
you're like
if it's
you're
5
like Puerto
voters,
Rico
so
in
Christian,
Congress.
you're one of them then?
I am one of them, yes.
Okay, cool.
But my votes, of course, don't have any more value than anyone else's votes.
But my votes have the most value because I can decide whether this group lives or dies.
If you want me to break ties as well, I mean, how am I going to make
Anthrax.
friends? There's
No,
5
that's why
of
we
you.
got an odd number.
Right.
Anthrax time.
That's
I can cause ties if you want.
What if I split my vote in half?
If you
Then
split
I'll
your
fucking
vote in
vote.
half, I don't think I could do 0.5s in here. Oh no, I definitely can. No, actually, I don't think I can.
Yeah, then I'll add another 0.5 and make it another tie.
Yeah.
A red steel and 1/3 to Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver.
You can't do that.
Clanky, I made the lobster lactate. Don't think I'm against making other people. Okay, I'm done with this joke.
What is that supposed to mean?
Have it your way. I like
Don't
you.
threaten me with a good time.
Anyway,
This is leading down a road I'm not entirely comfortable with myself. So
Neither am I.
well, that's okay, because I think we have all of our rules set, and we are just about ready to begin. So, without further ado, I am going to announce the first round and start the timer.
Actually, before
Okay.
you do that, can I just there's something I just wanted to like reflect on each individual year as a whole, just because when 2017 comes around, I'm gonna want to talk about how great 2017 is for a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just like wondering what 2010 was like for you guys when you were playing games.
I really don't remember.
Yeah, same here.
I was probably on my 360.
All right, this was a
Um,
great idea. Clearly.
It gets
I mean-
easier as you go up.
It was the
Yeah,
year I
it's
saw.
easier when I like have like memories of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 2010. It was the year I saw Clash of the Titans in theaters for
Yeah.
whatever that
I
counts.
think it's when the first Thor movie was released.
No, it's 2011.
Yeah.
That means I
2010.
saw Clash of the Titans in theaters.
Was 2010 Iron Man 2?
Yes.
Yes.
I saw Clash of Titans in theaters. It was
Which
good.
means I would have been.
Everybody
I was in
saw
8th
Clash.
grade.
I was in 6th.
That means I was also in 6th.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Yeah,
I was in
probably
8th going into high school that year.
I think 2010 was my last year living in my childhood home. So
Oh.
I think I had just gotten the last of my 2010 games. I played a lot of these in my basement, which was cold.
Oh.
And awesome.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, if nobody else has any more thoughts on 2010 as a year.
Stalling before we spread the blood.
Yeah. Well, no more stalling. The first, wait, Graham, you were gonna say something?
It's the first new decade that I can remember happening.
Yeah, that's true. I can remember this existing.
Yeah.
You know. Some would argue the decade doesn't start till 2011.
No, they are wrong.
No, it's 2020. 2020 is the start of the 2020s. 2010 is the start of the 2010s.
Taylor, let me ask you this: would you say that the 20s includes 1920 or 1930?
I'm not speaking on behalf of me and Mick. I'm just saying what people say.
Okay, fair enough.
You better start this fucking thing before
All
we
right,
go into September.
Everyone.
Listen, I'm so ready to argue. I've started to argue about things completely unrelated.
You've already been preparing. Well, guess what?
We've already been arguing about whether lobsters have tits. So why don't we just
begins
mammary gland
with number 1. Sid Meier's Civilization 5 versus Fallout New Vegas. Ready, set, go.
Fuck both of you.
So true.
So true.
I haven't played Civ 5, just FYI. So I already know probably which way I'm leaning towards, but I know that a couple of the people here, Christian, Clanky, Mick, you guys have very strong feelings towards Sid Meier's, yeah?
I have strong feelings towards Sid Meier, yeah.
Yeah, I have. Let's check my Steam profile. How many hours have I put into Civ 5?
Yeah, that actually was
my hours too.
Yep, I'm around 150 something. I know that for a fact.
Jamie has crazy.
200 and what's it called again? 292. But this is the second time I've bought Civ 5. I had it on another account as well, so that I actually have more hours.
I have 260. But Jeannie, can you say how many hours you have?
I have 860 hours.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, my numbers are probably closer to Jeannie's if you factor in the non-Steam.
I have 1,154 hours in Civ 5.
Oh my god.
Graham wins.
Graham, you win.
Well,
I don't know how many hours my dad has on Civ 5, but I know he has a lot.
I guess that means like I kind of want to be educated a little bit. Like, when you play this game for 1,000 hours, can you constantly? Is it like just this is just where I feel safe? This is what I want to go back to, or do I get a new experience every time, or is it
pretty much? Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Civ 5 is in order to win it, there's 4 different ways to win. You can get a science victory, you can get like a culture victory, a diplomacy victory, and a war victory. And like all 4 of them have like different things that you need to focus on. Granted, like in all of them, you still need to focus a little on science, but like the thing that makes it cool is that like you can go into it each time and have, like you said, a completely different experience.
Yeah, and also each kind of civilization has their own strengths and weaknesses, and some have just like really wild play styles. Like
Venice.
Yeah, my personal favorite is Venice because they are not allowed to build other cities.
The whole point of the game is like you want to build cities and expand your civilization to like try to make it the quote unquote best civilization in the world.
Yeah, the city upon a hill.
I think my favorite thing about Civ 5 is the way that you can almost sort of like personalize your experience, because whenever I play Civ 5, I always come up with a new naming scheme for all of my towns. Like one time it will be Shakespeare plays, one time it will be songs by Ween, one day it'll be Bug Snacks.
The great nation of Ocean Mania.
Then there was baby lawn, toddler lawn, teenager lawn, adult lawn.
Wait, was that me or Clanky? Or Jeannie?
I could have sworn it was you.
I think, was it you?
I played as Babylon, so it probably had to be me.
Oh wait, I've also played as Babylon. Oh yeah, because I started off. Yes, that was. I remember the game. Okay. Oh goodness.
I believe that Christian's funnier than me, so I believe that.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say that I think I definitely thought of baby lawn and was like, haha, baby, let's make that toddler instead.
Exactly, and
I was a young lawn.
I was a young
And
Lon.
I was a young Lon.
My father
Lon. Took
Put me
me.
into the lawn land.
Can we hear an argument for Fallout New
Well, so
Vegas?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we probably
transition-
should.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna transition to that because you talk about how Sid Meier's lets you personalize your experience. I think that Fallout New Vegas is also very good in handling that because I think what I love about Fallout New Vegas that makes it one of my favorite Bethesda, like why I would go back to that as a Bethesda game possibly before I would go to Fallout 3, even though I may even be more nostalgic for Fallout 3, is how Fallout New Vegas lets you handle multiple problems, rather how it lets you handle one problem from multiple different perspectives in terms of how you choose to handle it, because you can invest in any number of 17 skills and prioritize any of them to get out of any one situation. And I've always enjoyed that, because when I play some of the DLC, I can I can use my mechanic knowledge to coerce my way out of this situation. But in this situation, I can use my medicine knowledge, and
even more than that, you don't even have to be good at you can actually succeed on something by being bad at it. There are quite a few situations where being as stupid as possible actually helps you defeat things, just through your sheer incompetence that people think you're a genius.
Yeah, I think
also, when you're that stupid, it changes all your dialogue options, so you speak in caveman speak.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah, I love being a part of. I love being part of the discovery of any open world. So when I was in New Vegas for the first time, it was just really fun to explore new places. I love being able to tackle multiple quest lines and getting the setup and payoff. I think New Vegas may do that better than Fallout 3, actually, especially with its DLC. Sam, you're a huge Fallout New Vegas guy. Do you want to say anything?
Well, I was.
I'm also a huge Fallout New Vegas guy as well. So.
Fallout New Vegas is my game I have the third most hours on Steam at 325. I have played many playthroughs of this. I don't know how much we want to discuss mods and stuff with this, because
mods are important. Mods are important.
Yeah, because also Sid Meier's mods, I don't play as historical civilization Sid Meier's. I play as Elder Scrolls civilizations.
That's also
don't ask
good.
why.
Can't you have Jerma as a civilization?
I think so, yeah.
You can.
Oh god.
But Fallout New Vegas.
I will say, in detriment to Fallout New Vegas, even though I love it, when it first came out, it was not finished. It was one of the buggiest experiences ever, from what I was to understand. Even for a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Wait, I just want to check something in my brain real quick. Fallout New Vegas is a first-person shooter, right?
Ish.
Yes.
Well.
So
that's the thing, right? It's in first person, but it's not really a first-person shooter.
Well, so it is. You can play it as a first-person shooter, but anyone uses the weird, somewhat turn-based mechanic thing it had.
VATS, right?
Yeah, the VAT system. Let's go again. Which you
which
use
is great.
Yeah. Let's go again. There is something I want to say though about Fallout New Vegas, though. That's something I love about it. Is how morally complex the world is, because look at Fallout 3. The Brotherhood of Steel are just the good guys, and the Enclave are just the bad guys.
I know where you're going with this.
There's a universe where you could imagine. There's a universe where you could imagine the Enclave as the good guys and the Brotherhood of Steel as the bad guys, but that's not Fallout 3's universe. In New Vegas, there are two major factions. Yeah, I was trying to count the factions, and I'm gonna stick with two because that's the important ones. The New California Republic and Caesar's Legion. The New California Republic is, the NCR. They're basically we're gonna try and recreate American democracy in the apocalypse. As a result, and as a result, most people will be like, oh, they're the good guys, because Caesar's Legion is emulating the Roman Empire with its, slave army and rigid military force, and going into towns and crucifying everyone. It very clearly makes you want to think the Caesar's Legion are the good guys, or the bad guys. But the more you go into it, the more you learn how this is sort of morally neutral they try and make it. Caesar's Legion never totally gets redeemed, but they start to make more sense in the world when you learn about the fact that the NCR is an incredibly corrupt organization, because they can barely get anything done because, as it turns out, it's actually really hard to run a democracy in a pre-industrial state. And likewise, what's going on? Caesar's Legion is, it works, and that's why they're doing it, because it's a way of... What?
Not the way I play it.
Mm-hmm.
You can take away any perspective from any side.
Yeah, and
and that's not even without talking the neutral Mr. House route.
Exactly. Like I was gonna say 3/4 possible main factions, but I'm like, no, I'm ignoring them because I just want to focus on the big two. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I guess it's...
Anyway, wrapping this up.
When we vote, shall we give our thoughts as to why we're voting for that one?
Sure, if you want to. I'm gonna go down the list, and we're gonna go starting at Graham, ending at Clanky. And I'm just gonna basically go down, and we're gonna be like, why? Yeah, you can say why you're voting. Give a brief statement as to why you're voting for what you're voting for.
You would go first, then, right, Christian?
Oh yeah, I guess I would go first. As much as everything about Fallout New Vegas sounds fucking amazing, Civ 5 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't even rationalize the idea of something that I haven't played being better than that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
No,
Graham.
I understand.
Yeah, Graham, your turn.
It's very, very hard for me. Like, this is like probably like the hardest. Like,
Graham, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
I think I have to give it to New Vegas just because I feel like I'll go back to Civ 5 a lot, but recently, because now that I like to play Civ 6 now, or and stuff like that. So I feel like I just have to get New Vegas because it's still such a unique experience.
Taylor, you're next.
There's a robot in Fallout New Vegas named Dr. O who has a very difficult time with how people pronounce his name, and if your intelligence is high enough, you can ask him to add a dash in it, and he goes, "What?" And it's like the biggest revelation in the world. And I managed to do that because I had the skills necessary to select that as an option. Fallout New Vegas to me is the game where I don't think I've ever played a game where I felt like I had so many ways to tackle the same problem, and that is Fallout New Vegas kind of like helped me want to look for those in those kind of games. So New Vegas is very important to me in that regards, and I respect Sid Meier's. I will play it someday. Gotta go New Vegas.
Clanky, why don't you go next? Because we all know what you're voting for.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's pretty obvious, but I have to choose New Vegas. No, I'm kidding.
I was wondering what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never played New Vegas. I've always been interested. I'm pretty sure I own the game on Xbox 360. Never touched it. I do want to play it, but Civ 5, I mean, it just has a hook to me. I love it. I have to go. Yep.
All right, Mick?
I love New Vegas, and I love Civ 5. However, I'm
God damn it.
I don't know where he's going with this.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to vocalize some of my thoughts.
Okay, fair enough.
On the one hand, I'm trying to separate out my feelings of Civ 5 from the other Civ games.
That's a good point. It should be important to compare these to how they stand with their franchise.
Yeah. And some people consider 5 to be the best. But
yeah,
some people also consider New Vegas the best. So
yeah, and the thing is, the Civ game I have the most nostalgia for is Civ 4.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
But I also really like Civ 5, and I feel like it improved on Civ 4 in a lot of ways, except for the graphics. I think they really kind of there's things I think I wish it done better. I'm gonna give it to New Vegas because I think Civ 5 has a better chance of surviving the losers bracket.
You know what?
And possibly crawling its way back up.
If
it gets back to the finals, I have to vote against it.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
To be honest, I saw this going Sid Meier, so I'm surprised.
All right, shall I submit these scores? Everyone's satisfied?
No, wait, hang on.
I want to change my vote real quick, if that's okay.
Well, Mick's changing his first.
Hang on. I'm not sure. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I want to rethink this.
This is our 116
Nick,
matchup, and
I
this
think
is.
we have to give you 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't put a timer on the voting. I've
Yeah,
only
okay,
put a
you
timer on the
should've.
discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we-
this could go forever. He could change his opinion tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, New Vegas could win the bracket. He's like, hold everything.
Mick, go with your gut. Choose what you originally chose. That's what I say.
Okay. Yes. I'm
Yeah,
going with
shut up, Clanky. Screw
All
that
right.
guy.
Anyone have any objections?
Sorry, I thought you meant he was going to go over.
All right, submitting the score now. Boop.
Hey, 2-3 is commendable.
Yes. Next round. Oh, this one's gonna be freaking fun. Next
Uh-oh.
round.
What a wild matchup.
Mass Effect 2 versus Professor Layton and the Unwound
Is it cool if I
future.
start this
Because
one?
they're so similar.
Ready, set, go.
Anyone cool if I start this one?
You can
Go.
start.
Go ahead.
I gotta ask, have any of you played a Professor Layton game?
No.
No.
But Taylor, you better believe that I am voting for Professor Layton over Mass Effect 2.
I've never played a Mass Effect game either.
I've always wanted to play a Mass Effect game, so. But I've also.
Am I the
also
only?
very curious-
This is me versus Taylor because I think Taylor's played Professor Layton. I've played Mass Effect
Listen.
2.
I remember playing Mass Effect back when it was
This-
still Mass Cause.
Listen, right? This round right here, I am just hoping to make a point, make
Mhm.
anyone even slightly curious. Do you guys like puzzle games?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Professor Layton is like a glorious collection of every type of puzzle game packaged into something that makes everyone that it gives everyone a chance to solve a puzzle a way they want. You have your riddles, you have your slide puzzles, you have your turn the DS upside down, you have your fucking figure out how to cut out the shape in your head. I don't like those ones, to be completely honest with you. I cannot visualize
Gotta
how
go
to
Mass
cut out
Effect
the
2 then.
shape. But here's
I don't even
the
quite
thing.
know what you're describing, but cool.
But here's the thing, man. Professor Layton constantly makes you feel smart. It constantly presents itself in ways that don't feel like their puzzles are made for children or adults. They just feel like they're puzzles to do puzzles that anyone can sit there and solve. And that's not even discussing the adorable, like, kid-like setting that tells a really good in-depth stories. And the Unwound Future is the best of those stories. The Unwound Future is a story where you receive a letter from your apprentice 10 years into the future, telling you that London has fallen into disarray over your evil twin, and you need to travel into a clock shop's basement in order to fucking figure out how to get to the future of London, because the clock shop is a time machine, and you're in a crazy future. It's an amazingly wonderful story that has incredible payoff for the entire trilogy of the 3 games that played up until that point. There are amazing, well-thought-out mini-games like controlling a parrot to deliver mail and figuring out how to line up trampolines to get it to solve things. There's an adorable picture book where you have to figure out what words go where. There's a train, and you get to take the train alongside and deliver cargo. Professor Layton, I'm not doing a good job. I already know I'm not doing a good job here, but Professor Layton, the Unwound Future.
I don't know what you're talking about, Taylor. You mentioned that you can deliver cargo. That's like I'd buy a game that's only delivering cargo.
Cargo Simulator 5000.
Professor Layton is just an incredibly well-meaning, good-hearted game with adorable visuals, a really lively soundtrack, and it has a really fucking amazing ending.
So, I've always been interested in both Professor Layton and Mass Effect. They're both
I don't like
series.
Mass Effect, by the way.
We can
You don't
hear
like
about.
Mass Effect?
What?
I have no interest in ever playing a Mass Effect.
Weirdly,
I just really like the idea and setting of Mass Effect. I love sci-fi, so that's just my jam. But like, I guess like the Mass Effect has like the boring like Star Trek energy. if that makes any
You
sense.
trying to say Star Trek's boring?
I'm not
yes.
trying to say Star Trek's boring, but
Good.
like I'm just saying that like. Don't take offense to this. I am a nerd, so I feel like I can say this. Star Trek is nerd shit. And
Yeah, it is.
Mass Effect also just feels like nerd shit, where at least Professor Layton feels like a fun, colorful adventure.
I can
Yes,
see
it
that.
is.
I want to give Graham a second to talk about Mass Effect 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
We
Yeah.
might need more than 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But I want to give
Right.
Graham a second.
Okay, go.
So, Mass Effect 1. Pretty good game. Like, as I've said before, Mass Effect 1, like, it has the mechanics of someone who thinks they know what a good third-person shooter is like. Mass Effect 2 is a very good third-person shooter. And on top of that, one of the most just, like, intricate and engaging stories to be, like, just set in a world completely different from our own. The way that the story is all set up is basically just one big collection of vignettes from all of your squad members' lives, all of which are just very interesting people who have their own, like, different views. They have their own different struggles that they're going with. One of them's an assassin who has a terminal illness and is trying to make amends with, like, the last 2 years of their life, and is this very spiritual person. One of them is a bioengineered, basically, child soldier who has to come to terms with her, like, the traumatic past that she's had. Martin Sheen is in it. He was the president on TV once. It's amazing. And he's actually good in it. This was
Important
really
clarification.
this was one of the really... Mass Effect 2 is like... Even the Mass Effect trilogy, like, outside of, like, Dragon Age, which is another BioWare thing, it's one of the few games that where, yeah, like, the stuff you did in the previous game is mentioned. Like, you have an effect on this world. And then, at the very end of the game, you get the suicide mission, which is one of the best levels designed probably in any video game history, because you have all of these crewmates that you grew attached to over the course of this game, this adventure through the stars. And if you didn't invest into the right things, or if you didn't make the right decisions in that mission, a lot of them, maybe even all of them, will die. And that means they're not in the third game.
Alright.
Hold on, real quick. I just have a question. So does that mean, like, if you have, like, the trilogy, shit that you do in the second game affects what happens in the third game?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
I don't want to...
And so do Telltale point-and-click games.
We are judging these games as solo games, of course.
Yeah.
That is fair. That is fair. But
it is cool. It is very cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Also, one last thing for Mass Effect. There's a point where someone, like a mercenary, is walking up to you, like boasting. It's like, "Well, we've been talking. My guys have been lining up shots." And your reaction, you can, if you want, you can just snap his neck right there. You can't do that, Professor Layton. Or if you did, I'd be very impressed.
All right. Do you have any last thoughts about Professor Layton?
Well, you know, for the case of making Professor Layton look better than Mass Effect, I have to roast Mass Effect a little now, because I'm to understand that Mass Effect kind of, it's like you talk a lot about Mass Effect in terms of its side narrative and all of the casting through in it, but from what I am to understand, based on what I've heard from other people's perspectives, it's kind of a game that forces it on you to the effect that if you don't engage with it, you're not going to have a good time at all. And simultaneously, I hear that those side narratives, is there not a lot of back and forth with very, like, dribble gameplay? And is it not all about the narrative of itself? I hear that there's, like, you mine planets a lot, and it's really boring.
Yeah, you can do that, but, like, it's not going to take up a lot of time. It's very easy.
Pretty sure you have to do that.
Yeah, but, like, it's easy. It's not really any time.
That doesn't make it fun.
There's fun music that plays.
You know, Graham, it's also easy to dip your socks in river water.
That's actually pretty difficult.
It's quick, easy, and free. We have just enough time for any last thoughts before we move on to.
Yeah, do you guys, other than me and Graham, do you guys want to ask us questions about the respective games? It seems like you guys haven't played either of them.
No. I fucking despise Mass Effect. I'd vote for literally anything that's going up against it.
I have no questions.
Yeah, I just listen. I've said this before. I find the setting of Mass Effect. I find space. I just find it boring, and I've tried very hard to want to get excited about Mass Effect, and every time I look at it, I'm like, it's just a lot.
Put it this way: I love space. I love sci-fi, and I hate Mass Effect setting.
Okay, all right. I will vote first. We are in the voting period, so I will vote first. Might come as a surprise. I'm going to vote for Mass Effect 2, because Mass Effect has always intrigued me. I love the BioWare system, and I'm not a fan of puzzle games.
Good game.
So, Graham, why don't you vote next? And I think I know what you're voting
Yes,
for.
I think we know where
I
we're
think we
going
can
to.
just plug in Graham and Taylor, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor, yeah, you're next, and you're Professor Layton.
We know where.
Mick, what are you voting for?
I'm voting for Professor Layton because I despise Mass Effect.
And Clanky, what are you voting for?
Oh shit! Am I the tiebreaker?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
you are.
I think my answer is I'm sorry. It's gonna be Professor Layton.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow.
So no one has any objections.
Wow.
I'm going to submit
This is
the
not going the
score.
way I expected, and both of the things I want have made it.
Wow. This is cool.
So
All right.
8 minutes on the clock. Red Steel 2 versus Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Ready, set, go.
Go,
Mick.
Mick.
Hey Mick, how you doing?
Okay, yeah, okay. So Red Steel 2 is a game for the Wii. Don't leave, please.
I already know quite a bit about
one?
this game.
Yeah. So Red Steel 2 is a combination first-person shooter and sword fighting game for the Wii. No, please don't go. It is the sequel to Red Steel, which was a launch title for the Wii, trying to show off the fact that the Wii can do hardcore titles. Red Steel 1 is a terrible game that you should never play. Red Steel 2 is the most surprising thing I think I've ever seen. The first one was a very generic game. Red Steel 2. So, rather than trying to go photorealistic, which is a terrible choice for the Wii, did a cel-shaded art style, okay? And then they changed the setting as well. It is a cyberpunk, Japanese Wild West,
What?
where your main character is a cowboy samurai
What?
who has a... Let me go through your arsenal of weapons. You have your katana, you have your revolver, you have your shotgun, you have your Tommy gun.
His voice is cracking.
All right, and you're trying to fight the members of the weird, the weird Mad Max Yakuza that killed the rest of your clan members. Okay, all right, and they're like the weird Power Rangers villain, big bad at the end of everything. Okay, and on top of that, it's a game for the Wii that like they managed to make it work, and it's first off, it uses the Wii Motion Plus and is probably one of the best shows off of how good the Wii Motion Plus is because you have something to compare it to, mainly Red Steel 1. Something I will say. The game does get significantly easier halfway through when you unlock a move known as the Tiger. The game becomes basically a matter of not if but when at that point. It's still a lot of fun, but you just have like an unblockable counter. Anyway, point being, the game oozes style. It has this soundtrack that is a mix of like, Ennio Morricone style, like spaghetti western influences with like Japanese folk music.
What?
It is the most bizarre. Also, the game hides all of its loading screens behind doors that take a bizarre amount of time to open.
I feel
There are
like
no loading
hold on. To be fair, I feel like that's not a positive.
That's
No,
also
it
not
is.
a Red Steel exclusive thing.
I know, no, but I'm just saying, it's cool. Anyway, and because I know I'm almost out of time, I'm gonna say one thing.
Mhm.
I have played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's fine. It's a Pokemon game. But also, it's a remake.
It's a
Would you
better
really
remake.
think that... What?
It's a better remake. The remake of the game makes it better.
Yeah, you're right, it is. But at the end of the day, what do you really want to congratulate? A team that went out of their way to fix their previous mistakes and make one of the most batshit insane first-person shooters that has ever been made? Or let's remake a Pokemon game that people like because people want to play Pokemon because people like Pokemon.
I love this argument because I
Listen, I do appreciate like the like
Look, I understand you love Red
creativity.
Steel too, so I'm willing to accept that you need to diss this game a little.
I love
yeah,
the fire.
But it's way more than that.
I've
You
never
know it.
I've never
It's
played
not
Red Steel
really.
2. I've never played Red Steel 2 to be fair, but I feel like sometimes there's such thing as too much, and that just feels like too much. I feel like you threw a lot, and like the idea sounds pretty cool, but like I don't know. I feel like unless the game is like really, really charming, I would find myself just kind of lost in it all. You know what I mean?
May I say a few
Not a
words?
super long game, right?
No, it's not super long.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing that I like about Heart Gold and Soul Silver is it's probably, and then Christian, I'll let you talk, I'm sorry, is that I really like the fact that you basically just get 2 Pokemon games for 1.
All
Let's see
right.
if this is fair. I was told I was fighting 1 game, not 2.
Well, yeah, but it is technically basically 1 game. How I perceive Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because I haven't actually played Heart Gold and Soul Silver, is I perceive it as the best of Gen 4, right? Which is, I have played Gen 4, I've played Pokemon Pearl, and I know the differences between Pearl and Platinum, I know how good they are, and I know that those changes from Platinum are carried over into Heart Gold and Soul Silver for making one of the most definitive Pokemon experiences ever, and I love Pokemon, and I love it's not as good as Gen 5, but Heart Gold and Soul Silver sounds really, really good.
You had a Pokewalk. You could take your Pokemon out with walks on you.
Oh
Dude,
god.
there's a Pokemon Olympics. You can you can train your Pokemon for the actual Olympics, and there's like 17 different mini games you can compete in them. It's awesome.
And also Gen 2 is just generally like a really good generation of
Yeah,
Pokemon.
you know, and I really do think this is important. The scope of additional content from what was originally there versus what is there now is staggering. Something we don't get with Pokemon games anymore. And Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I think, is one of the Pokemon games with, I think, the most replay value now, and that's, for me, as a Pokemon fan, one of the most important things. Gen 2 has Espeon, which is the best Pokemon.
Not true, but I'll concede for now.
Guy. And as Clanky said earlier, you get to explore 2 regions. I will say, I feel like Kanto. I don't feel like it's as interesting to explore the second time around. I feel like it's just a map. You kind of go through the town, get to go to all the gyms again. I don't feel like there's a lot of story-based content that happens there. A lot of events. It's just a nice victory lap, so to say. But then you get a wonderful moment after that, which I don't know if anyone cares about. So I'll let you experience it for yourself. But wonderful final boss.
Yeah.
That I think is
we're all going back and playing Heart Gold and Soul Silver all the time.
well,
All the people in this room who have played Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
I recently got like a game for my 3DS, a cartridge of like 600 DS games, and both Heart Gold and Soul Silver are on it. So I want to play it.
Also, since we are about out of time, I want to give Clanky another chance to give his last thoughts before we move on to the voting phase. So, Clanky...
I basically said what I said, so it's all right.
Oh, okay. I will start with my vote. And
Christian,
Mick...
can I bribe you?
No, you can, but that doesn't mean I'm going to accept it.
Okay.
And as much as I really want to hear you out about Red Steel 2, I'm going to hear you out about Red Steel 2.
Oh.
Hey!
I just thought about it. Something just lit up in me, and I just...
You looked into this poor, starving orphan boy's face and said, you know, I will give Red Steel 2 a vote.
It just sounds like...
Starving orphan?
Is it easy to like find a copy?
Red Steel 2? I think the harder bit would be...
I don't own it yet, but the last time I checked on eBay, it's not that expensive.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wii game.
Yeah, and I mean, my favorite Pokemon
games
is...
can be expensive.
Oh, okay.
And-
I don't know anything.
My favorite Pokemon is Pokemon Black and White anyway, so it's not like I'm really betraying... And I haven't played Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so it's not like I'm really betraying any values by doing this.
Vote. If you had played it, this would be a much different conversation.
Perhaps. But Graham, now it's your vote.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Taylor, your vote?
Nick, just so you know, Red Steel 2 is on my backlog, possibly because of how passionate you are about it. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver has a battle frontier. Okay, we're done.
Mick, your vote?
Gee, I don't know.
Because now you have to actually decide which one
All
you
right,
like
Nick,
more.
Heart Gold or Soul Silver, which one?
We should have said, no. You can only choose one of the Pokemon games. You know, you can't stick
They're
that
like
shit
the
by it.
same game. They're like the
it's
same
like
one.
I-
One has Lugia.
All right, fine. I'm voting for Soul Silver.
Okay, yeah, Red Steel 2.
Clanky, you're the tiebreaker again.
Pokemon.
Pokemon, alright.
It was
Sorry.
closer than I would have thought.
Alright.
Yeah, so
It's
far
close
these
to
have all
that
been
one.
2 versus 3.
So what happens when we have 5 people?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Can I
that's
just
really
say,
interesting.
I gotta be honest. I in many ways feel like what's going on. I feel kind of like the Jamaican bobsled team. I didn't win, but it's a miracle that I was even able to participate.
Tonka, you dead?
So far, every single one has been a 2-3, a 2-3 victory,
Yeah,
where the first one is 2. Next up, got my 8-minute timer ready. Super Meat Boy versus Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
Yeah.
On your marks, get set, go.
Scott Pilgrim.
There's a game called Super Meat Boy?
Yes.
So you asked this before, Jordan. So let me just give you the short pitch.
Yeah.
You are Meat Boy, a boy made of meat. You have a girlfriend who is made of bandages. Her name is Bandage Girl. And there is this dude who is a fetus in a jar. His name is Dr. Fetus, and he hates you. So he beats up your girlfriend and takes her.
I mean, we all need bandages for our meat, don't we?
Is this a sequel to Earthbound?
No.
It's equal to a Flash game on Newgrounds just called Meat Boy.
Oh, Newgrounds.
It's another Earthbound-inspired RPG.
There are fetuses in that one.
It is also one of the best 2D platformers you can possibly play.
Wow.
It is the perfect level of challenge. Super Meat Boy is the kind of game that understands that challenge does not have to be based on an endurance contest, but instead of more bite-sized, small increments of actual challenge. Therefore, when you die, you're only set back 20 or 30 seconds because that's how long a level is. So you're never lingering over a death, worrying about how long it's going to take for you to get back there. There are hundreds of levels, all well-crafted, all with incredible music, and there are secrets within the one-screen levels where you can go into warp zones, find levels based off the Game Boy, the NES. It's such a perfect level of difficulty. It's so much fun to play because it controls so smooth. He slides and jumps on walls. It's one of the best games ever made. And I went out and bought. Before I had Steam, it was only available on the Xbox Live Arcade. I went out and bought the $100 Xbox router you needed to get on the Xbox store. So I basically paid $100 just to play Super Meat Boy.
And it was worth it, I reckon.
If I can speak a bit on Super Meat Boy, because Super Meat Boy is also in my top 50 games of all time. It's not my favorite 2D platformer.
No,
but,
not mine either, but it's pretty damn close.
Super Meat Boy is one of those games that at time it's one of those games that I could beat my head against a wall for 8 hours at a time and still feel like no time has passed because the challenges are so short and simple, and you know that you can do everything. The game makes it very clear that you know how to do everything that is being thrown at you. You just have to do it all in perfect succession. I think the Steam achievements are bullshit for this game. But other than that, honestly, and the game has one of my favorite soundtrack. It is probably my favorite video game soundtrack ever made.
Specifically the original, not the one that the guy got into a legal battle over.
The Danny B soundtrack is the best. It's my favorite video game soundtrack ever made.
This is you're all high praise in the hell out of this.
Yes. I have seen stuff about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just say, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a great game.
It's a lot of fun.
And in terms of movie, other culture adaptations, it's one of them. It's like you could make an argument for being one of the top 10 best.
Taylor, I don't know if it's having played it, I don't think it's as much an adaptation of the movie as it is an adaptation of the books.
You're right, but it came out in response to the movie.
That it did. But it looks more like the O'Malley doodles than they did Michael Cera. So. I like beat 'em ups a lot. Because I grew up on the Simpsons arcade game, which is kind of like almost exactly what Scott Pilgrim is emulating. Pretty much.
With a River City.
They're trying to do that sort of like that kind of aesthetic, I think.
Yeah, it's something that I would love to co-op play with you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just really heard from me and Christian who are voting. So what about the rest of you?
I mean, can I just
I
say,
haven't played either.
I'm not a huge. I'm not like a huge platformer, 2D platformer guy. So like I'm 100% behind Scott Pilgrim just because it's a great game. I love its style. I love the fact that it's an adaptation of the comic book rather than the movie.
Yeah.
And also, I gotta say, there are very few games in which there are very few franchises in which I'm willing to root for, in which I'm willing to root for a character who has openly dated a high school girl despite being significantly older than that.
Yeah.
I always forget that happens.
Yeah, he
It's
wants
the
you.
first. Christian, it's the first line in the comic book.
I didn't read the comic. I only watched the Edgar Wright
No,
movie.
Yes, that's the first line of the movie.
Wow, it's
That
been a
Pilgrim is dating
while.
high school.
It's been a
I haven't
while.
seen. Instantly, I actually haven't seen the movie.
I must
Really?
have, I must have tried to
No,
forgot
no.
about it.
Movie's
I
great.
love Edgar Wright. I almost saw it.
Chris Evans is also great in it.
Wait, you haven't seen the movie? I know you know what the alternate ending is.
Yeah, I know about that, but I watched that on a video about Edgar Wright.
Okay.
Yeah. Does anyone have any more thoughts about Super Meat Boy or Scott Pilgrim?
I do, but Clanky and Graham haven't talked.
I don't really have anything to add. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're complaining.
After Graham will be
as,
Clanky.
as much as like, I love the Scott Pilgrim movie. Beat 'em ups have always been kind of like, sort of like an genre for me, just because I feel like, I don't know, it doesn't not as engaging to me, but also like not too great at platformers either. But I feel like I can appreciate Super Meat Boy like a bit more, just because I feel like a really good platformer versus a really good beat 'em up. I feel like even me, like I'd be like, well, I prefer the platformer.
And I can't speak on to whether Scott Pilgrim versus the World is of like the top of the beat 'em up genre, or if it's just a solidly made beat 'em up.
It's probably closer to a solid.
All right, Clanky.
I played Super Meat Boy. I thought it was a pretty good game. It didn't grab me the way it grabbed everyone else because, like, I know, like, I don't know. I like platformers. I'd say I'm a big fan of them. And, like, I definitely admit that Super Meat Boy has some great challenge and everything. But, like, I always hear about, like, how everyone's like, oh, you know, like, this game really sucked me in and, like, I had to beat it. I think I got past, like, the first, like, regular worlds, but then, like, I have to do, like, I know what they're called in Celeste, the B-sides. I forget what they're called in this game.
Dark Worlds.
Dark Worlds, okay, yeah. Like, I didn't feel any drive to want to beat all the Dark Worlds. And I don't know, usually that doesn't happen to me with platformers.
You don't have to.
I'm not saying, I know I don't have to, but, I mean,
You
if I
didn't want
usually have
to.
the drive to do it with a lot of other platformers, how come I don't have the drive to do it with Meat Boy?
That is that is an interesting take
Yeah.
because I don't know, like, because Meat Boy levels are so short, especially in the first world, that like the first world is not going to take you very long to begin with.
I know Burnout
Yeah, I mean,
is...
They are very short, but I mean, like, if you're bad, it is still going to take you a while, despite the fact that it's short.
Took me ages. That's why Burnout's the thing. I think you can burn out on Super Meat Boy, honestly.
Yeah, I've never.
You can burn out your meat.
I've always
Burn
been
out on this
interested.
thing.
I've always been interested in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I like Mick said, I really like the fact that it's based off the comic and not the movie.
Yes.
I think that's really interesting. And I guess my only problem is that it's a beat 'em up, and I'm not really a big fan of beat 'em ups.
And let me just say, there is, having played both games, I can say this. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, one of its flaws is that because it's a very short game, because like, you know, oh, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
That's my
that's my timer going off. You
Okay,
can keep
that's
talking. This will be our
terrifying.
last thought.
I thought my computer was going to explode.
I tried to stop it before it gets to that point,
Submission,
but I
should you choose
forgot.
to accept it?
Due to the brevity of the levels, what they've done instead is because there are RPG elements, your characters level up in the game, so it's kind of part RPG. But because there are so few levels, the game can't keep up with the scaling of enemy difficulty. So it basically demands you go back and replay levels in order to stand a chance on later levels. And that's essentially saying you have to grind in this beat 'em up, which is not a great thing. And maybe why I never beat it.
I see. All right, so
I mean, you can't really speak on it if you've never beaten it.
I mean, I've never beaten Super Meat Boy.
I mean,
You've never beaten your meat, Christian?
I guess I haven't.
Played it.
So, let the voting begin. Unless anyone has actually, we'll cut thoughts here and we'll get to those when people vote. I will vote for Super Meat Boy because it is one of my in my top 50 favorite games and is one of my favorite 2D platformers. Graham, which one are you gonna be voting for?
Super Meat Boy. I kind of like. I know like there was a whole big thing of like, oh, like they finally like just re-released it, but I'm just like, Super Meat Boy. I feel like I also just like the aesthetic like a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
is weird because I feel like it's a worse aesthetic.
No, I like it. I personally like it. Taylor, your vote?
Again, I think it would be really fun to get 4 people for a co-op with Scott Pilgrim. But Super Meat Boy, not only is it in my top 10 favorite games of all time, but once again, I need to express it's the perfect difficulty, and that is just so hard to land.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then Clanky, in my opinion, don't matter.
But I want to hear your votes anyway for the record. So, Mick, what's yours?
I mean, I think I made that obvious. Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
And Clanky?
I guess I have to choose Meat Boy, so I'll choose Meat Boy.
If you feel so inclined. These are the votes. Meat Boy wins by a landslide.
I figured it would.
Yeah, not because Scott Pilgrim's bad, of course, but because Meat Boy is too good.
I think with 5 people, a landslide has to be a perfect 5.
That's true, and we haven't reached that yet. Now, this next round, I'm very excited for.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
I am once again being thrown to the wolves.
So,
my God,
a good number of us know Danganronpa, but not a lot of us know about Alan Wake. The round will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, Mick, how's it going?
So, Alan Wake. It's basically someone was like, I want to make a Stephen King video game, but I don't have the rights to any Stephen King properties. I know, I'll make my own. Oh, we also apparently don't have the rights to Maine, so I guess we'll set it on the exact opposite side of the country in Oregon. Otherwise, it is so Stephen King. They quote him like 3 times in the game. It's about a writer who goes away with his wife to this small, sleepy little town in the Pacific Northwest to help him with his writer's block. What's it called again?
Shining.
What?
That's
See what I mean? See what I mean?
Which is also set in Oregon.
Yeah. Is it? No, isn't it?
Shining's in Maine, I think, right?
No. No, Shining's like the one Stephen King novel that it's not set.
Oh.
I'm pointing. I'm not pointing. Anyway, point being, what's called again? And then, this weird like witch that lives in the ocean kidnaps his wife. And something else, but I don't want to spoil it. And a bunch of people in the town have become infected with like this darkness, that's like making them like do, like, it. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like the Tommyknockers, where they're just kind of attacking people, and there's no explanation for it. And so the majority of the game, you're fighting against like. Think of the kind of person you'd meet in the woods at night. You're just fighting those people, except they have darkness as armor, and you need to shine light on them in order to get through their armor, and then you can actually kill them. What's going on? And so there's this like really interesting interplay where it's like the enemies are pretty much invulnerable until you shine light on them. And so obviously you have your flashlight for that, which you need to constantly find batteries for. Or you could do things like taking a flare and keeping them at bay that way. Yada yada yada. But really, the most interesting thing is the storyline, which, as I say, is really heavily Stephen King inspired. Like as you said, it's a similar premise to The Shining, and then there's the Tommyknockers, and then there's other things like there's this other author who always, whenever he appears, he's in a diving suit, and it's never explained why. And it turns out the witch is his ex-wife, except he was cheating on her with this other woman who lives in a dam covered in light bulbs.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I love Stephen King, and I really like Danganronpa, because Danganronpa has a really unique gameplay style. And while I love the Stephen King
atmosphere vibes, yeah.
And while I love the Stephen King inspired setting that you're describing to me, how does the gameplay really set itself apart from other sort of like over the shoulders?
The gameplay. I have no idea how that
to me. It sounded very generic.
It is.
Oh shit!
The one thing it has that really separates it from other is the fact that like you can't hurt enemies until you have shined light on them.
Oh, I hate that. That's
so
like
there's literally a shining.
That's like the Pirates of the Caribbean level in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh.
Where you can't hit the Heartless unless they're in light.
Christian, there's a level where all you fight is clowns.
Oh my god! Oh, you're playing to the judges.
You don't get to play the clown card.
You're playing to the judges.
You're playing the clown card.
Okay.
Better a clown card than a clown card.
Can I settle the bat for Danganronpa?
Sure. Yes.
Actually, yeah,
Okay.
I want to know, Graham. Okay, go ahead.
Taylor, I'm gonna get you on the side. Danganronpa is very similar gameplay style to Ace Attorney.
Yes.
A lot of it, the trials are trying to figure out like little things like in someone's statement that don't make sense and disproving them. But you solve them by literally like loading truth bullets into a truth gun and shooting at statements.
Yes. So the thing that I think separates Danganronpa from Ace Attorney is its atmosphere, which is way more tense because it's way more contained. When you play in the world of Ace Attorney, even though you know there's only a handful of people who could have done it, in Danganronpa, even though there are more suspects, it's far more specific because you're in a locked space. You know that there are only 15 or so people here, and therefore everyone is just as equally guilty until you can figure out who done it. And it's very tense because you spend a lot more time getting to know these people to the point that you can actually hang out with them like a social link in Persona. And any one of them could, no matter what you've done, turn up dead the next day. And it's
or be the killer. And
be the killer.
There's no all of the murders, like they have like such unique motives and like things to them. Basically, okay, so yes, I have.
Okay.
It'd be really weird if he said all of this and he had never played the game.
Can I say some words?
They're currently playing through Danganronpa 2.
Yeah, can I say some words, actually, if that's okay?
Yes.
I think Danganronpa 1 is the weakest Danganronpa game, in my opinion.
I also feel that way.
True, it is true. No, actually, it's not. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, no, I know your opinions, Clanky, but
But it set a standard.
Yeah,
It set a good standard. Concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it being Danganronpa 1 having the weakest cast almost gives Alan Wake an advantage for me, but it's not quite enough.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm sorry, just really quick. What's Alan Wake's genre?
Psychological horror, but
I was gonna say it sounds survival horror.
It actually doesn't say it describes itself as psychological horror rather than survival horror. But
in
mainly it's
gameplay. Is there a difference?
In terms of gameplay, not really. It's in terms of gameplay, it's very much like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil games.
I would almost say Danganronpa is also kind of psychological horror.
In a very different way.
A lot more visual novel.
Yeah.
I would say that Danganronpa is less psychological horror and more of a thriller.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's fair.
Plus, also, I don't know if this will sway anyone. Danganronpa has an absolutely fucking stellar soundtrack.
It's true.
So does Alan Wake. Alan Wake has the developers Remedy are really good friends with this one band called Poets of the Fall, who are incidentally on my top 50 list. And they did a number of songs to the point where actually they have a music video that is just Alan Wake the game in the music video. And also they appear in the game as characters as part of a heavy metal band where they play two guys named Odin and Thor. And yes, at one point Thor does grab a hammer and kill a nurse with it.
Wow! Holy fuck!
I just to further supplement Graham's point. I think what even though I prefer Ace Attorney to Danganronpa every time, I think what one of my the highlight of any Danganronpa moment is its finale in terms of you give a closing argument and the main theme plays as you reflect on the entire experience of the case, and the way Danganronpa presents its information is in such a way that you're going to walk away remembering every detail of every case, which is an incredible thing because it makes you really connected to the story.
All right. I'm going to say it's voting time now. And for me, if it was any other Danganronpa game, it would be so much easier to say.
Have you played Alan Wake?
I've not played Alan Wake. It would be so much easier for me to completely get on board with saying, yeah, Danganronpa. If it was any other Danganronpa game but the first one. But at the end of the day,
don't go contrarian for the sake of contrarian, though.
I'm picking. Don't doubt my votes. I'm picking my votes based off my own personal opinion, and I was gonna pick Danganronpa anyway. So, because it's so close between the two. I love everything you said about Alan Wake. Everything about it sounds fucking amazing. But
since you can't be swayed anymore, I'm sending you this image.
Okay, thank you, and I'll check it out in just a second.
Because I know we said no outside sources. I just wanted to send you it because I know you'd get a cut of it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Is it the clowns?
Graham, your turn. What is your vote?
As much as like I really want, like I plan on playing Alan Wake at some point, like the remaster, and so I can finally like give them money so they can. I know they already announced Alan Wake 2, but I like to think if I give them more money, they'll make it faster.
That's how MLMs start, Graham.
I do want to play Alan Wake before Alan Wake 2, yeah.
But Danganronpa is just such a unique experience to me. It's just so much fun. Like I didn't want to say this because like, but playing it with a group of friends is one of the most fun things you can do.
Agreed.
With each of you voicing a character.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So Danganronpa.
Mm-hmm. Taylor.
Alan Wake's just not for me. I love Danganronpa.
I was never gonna win you over, Taylor. I knew that.
I know.
You were a lost cause from the start.
I apologize, Nick. I do try to keep an open mind.
Listen,
but Alan Wake
listen. Basically, I was convinced I could possibly tip Christian. I had no idea Graham was a Danganronpa fan. I thought he was gonna be the Joker in the pack.
That's the thing. I actually thought like Graham hated Danganronpa for some reason.
No.
I've known about Danganronpa for a very long time. Like it kind of sucks that like I know everything about it like as we're playing it, but I still love like just playing it.
The experience is
When
nice.
Graham plays a game, he tells nobody.
Yeah.
Mick.
Graham watches
just
a
one
show,
text of just
Hey,
K.
Graham, how was Tales of Vesperia?
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, like Tales of Vesperia is just like it's very satisfying. It's almost satisfying just play an 8 out of 10 game.
Yeah, we'll
like,
talk about.
Like this.
No, it's just my point that Graham can just like go off, play that whole thing, and tell nobody.
We'll discuss those kind of games
final
later.
Elden Ring.
Oh, but Elden Ring's great. But we'll discuss that later.
He'll get mad.
Mick,
Yes?
vote for Prosperity. Alan Wake or Danganronpa?
Alan Wake, obviously.
And Clanky, vote for Prosperity?
Danganronpa.
All right. Submitting scores for Danganronpa to be the winner.
Okay, and then...
Can we hang on?
Oh, God.
So, other than Mass Effect 2, the losers round is all some of my favorite games.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough losers bracket.
Yeah.
This is going to be a rough one.
The big follies.
It is. This will be great.
We do a Scrooge McDuck dive into a sea of second place.
Yeah. All right, so this next round, gonna be fun.
I think we can skip the cross-examination and go straight to the voting.
We have we have Red Dead Redemption 2 versus WarioWare DIY.
Redemption. Very important.
Red Dead Redemption versus WarioWare Redemption. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I know. Listen, I know I lost. I know it's gonna be a 1-4 vote, but I didn't realize how much I liked WarioWare DIY until I looked up games that came out in 2010 and saw that in a wave of games that I've never played before. And then I realized the reason why I didn't play so many games in 2010 is because all I was doing was playing WarioWare DIY. I got so invested in that game. I'm not a coder. I'm not the smartest person out there, but WarioWare DIY made me feel like a fucking genius because I felt like I was coding all of these games and doing like a lot of like interesting things that like the game taught me to do and finding out stuff on my own that I could do that really made the games that I made like, I don't know, unique and special. I want to punt like 13-year-old Clanky in the face because he deleted all of those games, but I still have a lot of fond memories of that game, and I didn't even like remember it existed until I looked it up. So it's just kind of wild to me that I don't know how much time I really spent playing that game.
I'd like to spend a little time backing Clanky up just for a moment because I want to preface this by saying I messaged him before this started saying, just so you know, I'm not voting for it, but we're gonna say nice things about WarioWare DIY.
I'd actually like to go third, honestly.
I also played this game right when it came out. And Clanky, it's so funny that you pitched the idea of punching a kid in the face because I made a micro game specifically to punch a 13-year-old in the face.
Wow,
because he was annoying.
That's honestly classic preteen behavior.
But that's the thing, like you can do that. And again, to like further back up Clanky's point, I'm a fucking idiot who can't learn how to do anything. And WarioWare DIY taught me its mechanics in an hour with a really charming tutorial, might I add, where like Wario is just like this down on his luck, like I don't know how to do anything, but I'm gonna be really narcissistic and haughty about it the whole time. And it's just I would say that it's as creative as you can imagine up until a point, because you can only design microgames in one way, and I think that's to its detriment. You can only tap on the screen, whereas in other WarioWare games, you can slide, spin, blow on the microphone. You can only play microgames one way, but to its credit, you can do other things. You can design music like Mario Paint style. You can make 4-panel comics, which I love. And, of course, the game comes bundled with a series of microgames anyways, so you're not without something to do. I also, it's the only DS game that I own 2 boxes of, which I don't know why.
That's a story for another time, I feel.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in and say one thing about what Taylor said?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it is really cool that they, even though it is a game designed to make your own game, they still give you like a WarioWare experience in it if you don't want to create any game.
To be fair, it's in a bridge.
Listen. Granted, it's not a full WarioWare experience, but I still think it's charming enough that they included all of like the things you'd expect to see in a WarioWare game. Like there's the one level that has like the song with lyrics in it, which is pretty cool. They have like the boss levels at the end that you can only experience from the pre-made games. It is disappointing you can't make your own boss levels, don't get me wrong. But I do respect it for the fact that it can, even though it isn't like the best one, it can still stand as a WarioWare game, despite the fact that you don't have to. Despite the fact that it's mainly about making WarioWare games.
So
that's all the help I can offer you, Clanky.
Listen, I know I'm losing. It's okay.
Can I offer some help as well? I have never played WarioWare DIY. I have played about 3 to 4, no, probably around like 10 to 20 hours of Red Dead Redemption. But I have never played WarioWare DIY. Yet WarioWare DIY has stuck out to me as one of the most prominent games that I've never played, because while I was not a WarioWare fan until recently, I am always a fan of game creation tools, and it's something that I've spent the majority of my life playing around with, things in Roblox, Playcrafter, Game Maker, all this sort of different stuff. But Little Big Planet 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. And I feel like, honestly, if I played WarioWare DIY around the time that I was playing Little Big Planet 2, it might also be in my top 50. And Red Dead Redemption, I put 20 hours into it, and I liked it a lot, and I had a lot of fun. But I think if I played both games to completion, I would like WarioWare more.
You can't really complete WarioWare.
So true. So true.
Does anyone else have any extra thoughts to add in these last 3 minutes?
We haven't
My
even
name's John Marston.
Nick,
I was gonna say that, Mick. Damn
We
you.
haven't even talked about Red Dead Redemption yet.
Well, we got
What's
3
there to
minutes,
say?
so let's talk about Red Dead Redemption for a little while,
John
if we even need to.
Red Dead Redemption, it's hard for me to like separate my feelings from Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, just because 2 is such like a fucking phenomenal like 10 out of 10 game. But Red Dead Redemption is just a very strong narrative about an old gunslinger forced to confront like his past comrades. It's set in this backdrop of the whole thing of like the West is dying.
Yeah, it takes place super late. It's 1911.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very late.
Like literally, like the first image of the game that you see is a car being brought to the Wild West as like
I
proof
remember
that
that scene.
proof that yes, the times are changing, and there's not gonna be a place for people like the main character anymore. John Marston.
Yeah.
I'm John Marston.
I would go even further in terms of past its narrative, which is completely engaging all the way up to the end, challenging, doing things that I don't think all games are brave enough to do, and that's all I'll say in terms of the narrative. But it's also just, as someone who had grown up playing a lot of Rockstar games, I felt like it was way better at asking me to engage with its world. Because there are so many Rockstar games where all I want to do, mostly in Grand Theft Auto, I just want to do the missions. I don't feel like going on murder sprees. I don't feel like going 50 minutes across the map to go do a taxi mission. Red Dead Redemption is so good at giving you rewards for engaging with its world. There are 4 different tiers of challenges you can do, like in terms of engaging with its mini games, in terms of engaging with its gunplay, hunting animals, treasure hunting. It gives you all of the tools necessary to complete it, and that's like, I completed it 100%. I think before I really completed games, it might have been like one of the very first games I completed 100%, and I felt that everything I did in it was very worthwhile, and the missions were diverse. I think the setting was really good, and it's not so big that it feels like it just milks its length out, which is one of the reasons why I had a difficult time latching on to its sequel, because I felt like it was just sometimes just scenic for the sake of it, which I know is a whole nother argument. But it's Red Dead Redemption 1 is like very special, and to me set like a new precedent for Rockstar games.
I'd like to give Graham and Mick a chance to talk about some things if they want to, because we are actually out of time. But I want you two to add some thoughts.
Listen, Red Dead Redemption kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
I haven't played all of it. I rented it for a week from my library once. I think I just made it to Mexico.
About a third.
Yeah, it's like there isn't really much I could say on it. It's just such a great story. If we're gonna be like doing these like best games, I think we should elevate the games that we feel represent the medium at its best, and I feel like Red Dead is just the medium at its best.
That's a great way of wording it.
Yeah.
That's a great way of wording it.
Well said, Graham.
Yeah, great way of wording it. I think if nobody else has any other thoughts, I think it's voting time. Yeah. It's voting time! I should have done that during the Danganronpa part.
Or the dreadfully wrong one.
And I'm about to make the dreadfully wrong one, because I loved my time with Red Dead Redemption. My best memory of Red Dead Redemption is sitting in the main town and shooting every single carriage that came in until there was a pile up of carriages just in the middle of the town.
I'm John Marston. I don't want to be an outlaw.
And I'm giving my votes to WarioWare DIY because it really does come down to the fact that
WarioWare DIY wins this, I'm killing all of you and then myself.
No, incorrect.
What did I do?
Incorrect, Nicholas. Incorrect.
I'm a sucker for game creation tools. That's really what it is.
Oh,
Graham, your turn.
Red Dead.
Yeah.
All right, it lost.
Taylor, your turn.
I just want to say, even though I think WarioWare DIY is great, I say even in terms, Christian, of all of the other game creation games that you brought up, I still think WarioWare DIY is probably weaker. I don't think that there is a whole lot of depth to its creation tools, and that may be part of the reason why I was able to engage with it better. I still think it's great. Red Dead Redemption's better.
Red Dead Redemption.
Mick, your vote?
Do you have to ask?
I will.
His name is John Mixton.
Yeah.
And Clanky, your vote?
Taylor, shut the fuck up! My name's John Marston!
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Clanky, your vote?
WarioWare.
Well, WarioWare got 2, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
I realize doing this, we're never going to get a 5-0.
Alright, the next round. Kirby's Epic Yarn versus Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Ooh,
let me get the timer set up here. And on your marks, get ready, go. I would like to start this one.
No.
Well, Self. Yes, Self.
So, I put Kirby's Epic Yarn on the list. And I put it on there because I didn't have a lot of 2010 games. But as I thought about it more and more, and I started off saying, yeah, I'm definitely voting for Galaxy 2. As I thought about it more and more, I realized that maybe I don't know what to vote for anymore. Because, and it really comes down to this thesis statement. Kirby's Epic Yarn is a game that was made from the heart. Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a grab for cash.
So true. So true. So true.
Very well.
So
Taylor,
true.
Taylor, I'll say this. It is a very well made, enjoyable grab for cash.
I knew this would be an incendiary statement, but I figured for the Yearlies, I was allowed to throw some dirt.
That's a nasty way to put it, Christian.
It's very nasty because I'm a nasty man.
That's not
nice. And I'm not going to be
nasty boy.
I don't feel like being nice to Galaxy 2 today.
There is a ton of love in Galaxy 2, and there are so many wonderful decisions
There-
that don't make it feel like, yes, the interfaces are similar. Yes, they were made on the same console, but if we're going to use Galaxy 2 and just talk about how it's not Galaxy 1, then we're not doing this correctly.
There are a lot of great things in Super Mario Galaxy 2. And there are a lot of things in Galaxy 2 that I will never agree with the developers on. In any of their decisions, I will never
Like
be
what?
able to. The change in aesthetic style, the change in level design to be so much more linear, so much
Yeah,
more...
so that's actually something I want to say about Super Mario Galaxy 2, is that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is... there's a universe where I think you could... I'm not opposed, 'cause if someone wants to argue with me that the level design is technically better, and that the game is actually the level design is better, the things you have to solve are actually more engaging, that's fine. But it really just feels like a Mario game rather than Mario Galaxy. Like the whole...
You know, what?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Also, you can speak, Taylor. I just want to say one thing. To me, Super Mario Galaxy 2 feels closer to Super Mario 3D World than it does Mario Galaxy 1.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
What? This is crazy talk right here.
We're getting spicy.
I do not see things the way you guys see this.
Exactly. How many...
Every time Galaxy 2 comes up with you guys, I feel like it just gets roasted because it's not Galaxy 1.
No. It's not a Mario Galaxy game.
Of course it's a Mario Galaxy game. It is totally a Mario Galaxy game in the best possible way. It takes all of the same elements of Galaxy 1. And by the way, saying that it's like a more linear Galaxy 1 was already so linear. So,
But its worlds had much more intricate design to them that made them... Yes, they needed to fit more stars in those worlds.
Taylor, let me put it this way. Super Mario Galaxy 1 feels like you're in space. Super Mario Galaxy 2 feels like Super Mario World, where you're in
We're not
purgatory.
talking about Galaxy 1 versus Galaxy 2. We're talking about Galaxy 2 versus Epic Yarn. That's why I said we can't just do this in terms of comparing it to Galaxy 1.
I didn't even finish my whole thesis. I didn't even finish the whole thing.
No.
Yeah, no, but you can't use, this isn't Galaxy 1 when we're comparing it against Epic Yarn.
Galaxy
Why
2...
Epic Yarn?
Galaxy 2, as a game, feels like it's going through the motions, honestly. Whereas something like Kirby's Epic Yarn takes the formula of Kirby and literally does something completely different.
Worse.
So you're saying the Yoshi formula is bad, is worse than the Kirby formula, is what you're saying. Because Kirby's Epic Yarn is way more like a Yoshi game than it is like a Kirby game. But I digress. Kirby's Epic Yarn it spurred a lot of controversy for not allowing you to die at all in it. And I think that controversy was not well-founded at all, because I think games where you aren't able to die should be encouraged today, honestly. I think that's something...
I don't care about that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that none of us care about that, but...
But Epic Yarn wasn't even going to be a Kirby game. It was going to be a Prince Fluff game.
And they added their own sense of Kirby flair to it while also keeping it as its own separate thing. And it's a spin-off game. Yes, it's not really a mainline Kirby game.
That doesn't matter either.
But what matters is the fact that every inch of the game is coated in this love for what they're doing. Goodfeel really knows how to put detail and just an immense amount of care into every single enemy, every single world. Everything you do is just, you feel like they it's like painting something by hand, you know? They went through each meticulous detail and added all these different like little things in the background and the foreground and the things you pull away and it's
like I think it is physically impossible to be unhappy while playing Kirby's Epic Yarn.
True. I will say,
when people are arguing why it's better than Galaxy. Now I'm never gonna like Epic Yarn.
That's really all I have to say. I just feel like Galaxy 2 is going through the motions while Kirby's Epic Yarn was made from scratch. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you, Taylor, that we shouldn't be comparing it to Galaxy 1. We should be comparing it to Epic Yarn. But I still feel like Epic Yarn, I don't know, it does something different from the regular Kirby formula, but it's a good kind of different. My only complaint is that it's maybe a little too easy, but at least I'm enjoying myself.
Listen, when these games are both platformers, and if I have to ask myself which one of these games I'm going to get a more rewarding, more engaging experience out of, it's going to be Mario Galaxy 2, because I feel as though, first of all, Mario Galaxy 2 has so many additions that I love in it. I love the addition of the cloud suit that allows me to generate power-ups. I love the addition of the boulder suit that allows me to that allows me to go bowling. Every power-up feels meaningful and never under or overutilized. It has every mission feels like a brand new set of interesting platforming challenges, and they managed to go even further beyond that by the fact that they have so many diverse level locations. They added so many more levels, and yes, that means you're spending less time in them, but what that also does is help immensely with pacing the game from level to level, moment to moment gameplay. There are tons of bosses. There is a ton of challenge. I remember it may very well be the first game that I 100%ed. I went out, once you get all 120 stars, you can get 120 green stars, and that leads to a perfect run challenge with one of the most hard, which set a trend for one of the hardest Mario Galaxy. It's like Kirby. If Kirby's Epic Yarn is easy at its easiest, Mario Galaxy 2 can be way more challenging at its best. And I find the challenge of Mario Galaxy 2 far more rewarding. I find I don't love the hub world of Mario Galaxy 2, I suppose. I'll give Kirby's Epic Yarn that point, that you get like a little hotel room that you get to manage. But I even find the co-op experience of Galaxy 2 more engaging. I played this with my cousin, and he picked up Starbits and had like an amazing time. We figured out how to get infinite one-ups through paralyzing enemies together. It's just there's just so much more polish to me in that, and it's just something that comes with the territory of being a Mario game. I don't agree that it plays like 3D World or not like a Galaxy 2. I think it plays exactly like it, and just from what I want out of it is better. But yeah.
We're actually reaching the end of our time. If no one else has any thoughts...
Can I ask one quick question?
Yes.
Does Galaxy 2 have the spring mushroom?
No.
It does.
There's a summer mushroom.
It does. In the Chop Works, you can get the spring mushroom.
Alright, so for a mission.
Multiple missions, actually. And the spring mushroom does still suck. It was a part of Galaxy that sucked, and...
But it has the cloud, man. And the cloud, and Yoshi has 3 power-ups of his own. All the new power-ups are winners.
Don't bring tax evaders into this.
Are we about ready to vote? Does anyone have anything they need to say?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like where this goes.
Well, I think you'll be fine.
You just gotta suck it up sometimes, all right? You saw how my
Mick had 2 of his knocked off the board.
I know, but I feel like Mario Galaxy 2 is getting knocked for all the wrong reasons.
Well, it's okay, because I'm voting for Mario Galaxy 2, actually.
Hey.
You traitor!
I went against Mario Galaxy 2 because I needed to find the one thing I think was wrong about it. I actually love the rest of the game, so...
Oh, yeah, I just had to make it look like a petty, stupid game, that's all. Yeah.
I mean, look, I didn't lie. I didn't lie at all. I actually totally think that Mario Galaxy 2 is a Mario game going through the motions, and it's really, at times, pretty lazy. But even a lazy Mario game is still really good and better than Epic
People
Yarn.
are enablers.
So, Graham, why don't you pick?
This is why Nintendo can get away with releasing garbage.
It's kind of true.
I've been quiet this whole time because it's really the only thing I have to say. The only thing I've really ever heard about Super Mario Galaxy 2 is that it's just more Super Mario Galaxy. And I really like Super Mario Galaxy.
Damn it,
bro.
Yeah, it's more of a great thing.
Yeah, this is the only way I can vote. So I'm voting for Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Alright, Taylor, wow. I don't think I need to ask who you voted for.
Wow.
Mario Galaxy 2 is my favorite 3D Mario game.
Whoa.
Now that I super don't agree with, but that's okay.
I was not expecting this.
Alright, Mick, your turn.
Do it, Mick. Spite me.
Can you click the X?
What?
Can you click the X on the top right corner of the window?
Nah, I can't click on that. I can't click on that.
Can I just ask, Mick, are you like a big Epic Yarn fan?
I mean, I'm not a huge Epic Yarn fan.
Is this more about not liking Galaxy 2 that much?
It's both the fact that I really love Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's also the fact that I despise Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Whoa. Despise?
Despise.
Despise, man.
I want that game to die.
We have had multiple Galaxy 2 conversations, and despise was never a word you used.
Yeah, you're right. I probably had never. I probably haven't used it before because I didn't feel like I was among friends.
The hate bastard.
All right, this is the first bloodshed round.
This is bloodshed, and Galaxy's winning.
Oh no, it's already won. But
yeah.
nonetheless.
It's already won.
Super Mario Galaxy 2 is just like, I mean, as Christian said, it is a cash grab. It is just, hey, let's make another Mario game. Should we add any interesting ideas? No, quite the opposite.
Bullshit.
Half bullshit.
Hell, are you
already won. You don't have to stab down.
Alright, take it outside. Take it outside. Take it outside.
Listen, this is one of my favorite games ever. It's difficult. It's difficult to hear.
It can be difficult to match. It's okay. Don't worry.
The next Boys Take Manhattan.
I sat through Alan Wake and Red Steel 2. You
Just
can
vote for Epic Yarn.
Who are you voting for, Mick?
Manhattan is going to be like a divorce proceeding.
Clanky, who are you voting for?
Epic Yarn.
Man, Epic Yarn would have won if I voted for it. Now I almost regret my decision.
Wow.
Christian, it's not too late. You haven't clicked submit.
Let's do Halo Reach versus Cave Story.
Oh God.
8 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, go.
Cave Story.
Okay, I want to start with Halo Reach.
Oh, hang on. Jordan asked what Cave Story was.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Talk about Halo Reach.
Okay. So Halo Reach is the last Bungie Halo ever released. It is a prequel to the first game, Halo Combat Evolved, and I'm not really going to talk about the game mechanics or anything because it's Halo. But in terms of just the story, the best thing that I can use to describe the Bungie era of Halo is like this feeling that you are fighting against fate, and even though you are this unstoppable soldier, in the grand scheme of things, humanity is still losing. You can, in Halo Reach, perfectly encapsulate this. You know what's going to happen because it's a prequel. You know Reach is going to fall. The only thing...
Hang on, Graham, don't spoil things, just FYI.
Well,
I'm not going to play it.
You can't spoil it.
It's a prequel.
Well, does anyone care about Halo Reach spoilers?
No.
Okay. Everyone said no, it seems.
I won't say specifics, just that, yeah, like, there's a book called The Fall of Reach, so you know what's going to happen. What you can change is you can fling the light of humanity just a bit farther into the future, and hopefully someone else can, like, find the way to make sure humanity sees another day. You interact with, like, your own, like, this new squad of soldiers. You can customize your protagonists, which is not a thing you ever see in a Halo game. And then you get to the multiplayer, this was my first real big Halo multiplayer. By the time I had 3 in ODST, the multiplayer scene had already kind of, like, died down for that. I've spent hours and hours just playing the infection game mode alone. That to me was this Halo Reach had the best infection in my opinion. And then you get into the level creator where you can make people have just made up like their own games in the level creator. I once was like part of like a clan of people that like every like Friday night we would like jump into Halo Reach, play a custom game, and it would be loads and loads of fun.
You too?
Yes. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about Halo Reach. It's in my opinion the best at the end of like this long line of Bungie made Halos.
If I can
they
echo,
decided to end it where they began it.
Yes.
Yeah. If I can echo a few things about Halo Reach before we move on to Cave Story, I want to say that Halo Reach is one of the only Halo games I have played, and it is phenomenal. I did actually really enjoy my time with it, but I want to play it again on the Master Chief Collection so I can actually play it with a mouse and keyboard, and probably enjoy it even more. Anyway, who wants to talk about Cave Story?
Tell you all a story about a cave. Story about a robot rolling with a whole lot of bravery. Meets funny people in a cave. The doctor's got a whim to put the people into slavery. Everybody's stuck inside the cave.
What is he saying?
World's smallest violence, Keith. No, everything's happening today. Run, grab a little gun, level up. Damn, it's fun.
What?
Did you write that?
I really enjoyed Cave Story when was that like a rap?
No, it's Brental Floss.
I was about to ask, is that a Brental?
It had to have been Brental Floss, yeah.
Yeah, go look up Cave Story with lyrics later. It's pretty damn good.
Full disclosure.
Cave Story is really fun.
full disclosure, I've never beaten Cave Story.
I haven't done the true ending.
Yeah, I really did enjoy Cave Story though. I thought that it was a quirky, fun little platformer, and I didn't know it was a Metroidvania going into it. So like my mind was blown when I first like realized I actually had to go back to like areas that like I previously explored and stuff. Because I mean like that was probably like my first exposure to a real Metroidvania, you know?
Also, this isn't as rare now, but Cave Story, I think, set a precedent of games that were made by one person that, like, kind of latched on.
Absolutely.
And
Agreed.
I think that's unbelievably impressive, because Cave Story, we're counting this as a 2010 game, but in reality, Cave Story was originally, like, a freeware 2004 game.
Yeah.
And the guy spent, like, 5 years in his free time working on it, and, like, the end result is, like, it is still really good. I actually like have plans to replay it just to do the true ending, because I hear that it's impossible.
So what you're saying is it should be disqualified.
No, because even the freeware, I believe, was Japanese only.
Oh, okay, fair
It
enough.
also kind of feels like the difference between Meat Boy and Super Meat Boy. That's not 100% accurate, but
Well, Meat Boy is actually a different game.
well, yeah. But I mean, like I view them in kind of like a similar vein.
Meat
at the very
story.
least.
You know, yeah, like this
Story.
Story
Yeah.
of the meat.
Story.
You know, it's
Yeah.
weird. Like Cave Story, you know, even though like I really like it, it's like one of those games that like I don't have a ton to say about it because like it's just like a very good blend of mechanics you'll find in a lot of really good 2D games. Like you brought up Metroidvania. It reminds me of Ratchet and Clank a little in terms of you have weapons that you can level up. As you kill things, you collect little Doritos, and they level up your guns.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, yes, exactly. You collect Doritos.
I mean, they're
like triangles.
Oh, okay, got it. It's like
They're
there's
not
this,
literally Doritos.
I got it. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's like one clip of Witcher 3 I watched from a streamer, and you know,
I'm just about to play that.
you can do this magic thing where you like mess with their mind or whatever, and the symbol are like orange triangles and like swirling around his head. And the streamer was like, "I put Doritos in his brain."
Happens.
There's also like a really charming narrative. There's a talking suitcase named Balrog who basically has to pull a Kool-Aid Man every time he enters a scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You just sorry, you dropped a lot of things on us with that sentence.
I know, right?
True.
But everything I said is exactly what
I'm
happened.
I'm sure, but you know, so there's a talking suitcase named Balrog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like a gut punch and then instantly getting swiped across the face when he says enters like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Music is pretty solid. The main theme of Cave Story, very, very good.
Yes.
And it's on everything.
Yeah.
And I went to music school, so all my music opinions are correct.
It's true, so true. Does anyone else have anything to add?
So I went to Super Mario Galaxy 2 school, okay, and and you know, like a big
not as good of a degree as Super Mario Galaxy School.
Exactly. It's honestly, Super Mario Galaxy 2 School was kind of just building on the foundation of Super Mario Galaxy
Can I
School.
just say, I'm mad now that that's one, because it means that we get another round where Mick gets to pick on it.
Well, now we have to decide what game Mick is going to choose over Galaxy 2. So now we'll need to decide.
By the way, in terms of comparing these two, I'm not really a good judge because I'm not a Halo fan, and it's one of the franchises that I'm not sure I'm ever going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have played both Halo and Cave Story, and I do like Reach.
Actually, this was what you wanted on the list, right? Was Cave Story?
Yeah, I chose Cave Story.
What prompted this?
Again, the main thing that prompted it was that I realized I didn't play a lot of 2010 games. I like Cave Story. I wouldn't say I'm in love with it. I wouldn't say it's an amazing, special, super great game, but I really do enjoy it. So I am voting for Cave Story. It is my vote, right?
Yep, you voted for Cave Story.
Yeah, I'm voting for Cave Story. It's not that I don't like Halo Reach. It's just that I've never really given it a fair shake.
Mm-hmm. Mick, what would you like to vote for?
It's a little odd. I'm almost actually tempted to vote for Cave Story, not because I think it's better than Halo Reach. Far from quite the opposite. I haven't played Cave Story, and I know almost nothing about it, other than what I've been told here today. Mm-hmm.
also in a Scott the Waz video. Now that now that you guys brought up that it's whatever you're gonna have to argue about Super Mario Galaxy 2 with, now I'm curious.
No, don't do it that way. Come on.
I know.
Yeah, you
so
must
Halo
choose.
Reach.
Halo Reach. Okay. Taylor, your vote.
Yeah, like I like Cave Story. I don't like Halo. Cave Story. And like that's not being nice enough to Cave Story. Cave Story is an incredibly well made game.
All right. I wonder what Graham's voting for.
Graham, I wonder what you're voting for.
Halo Story.
Halo. So wait, Halo Reach, right?
By the time there was a Halo. Story.
Paper Halo.
Now I'm the tiebreaker, and I'm going to pick Cave Story.
Let's go!
Oh, cool.
Let's submit these scores, and we
Yeah,
did
I
it.
did it for you.
The Metroidvania kind of description really sold me, honestly.
Gotcha.
The next round, Sid Meier's Civilization 5 versus Mass Effect 2. Didn't we just do this?
No.
No.
What did Sid Meier's lose to? Oh, Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
I was like, didn't we just do this?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. They're like the same game.
Yeah. I actually, Mass Effect 2 and Fallout New Vegas were both my first 2 games on Steam.
Oh, nice. So, Graham, this must be another tough round for you.
You're gonna have a fun
Yeah, anyway, Clanky, you go first.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I didn't express interest in Mass Effect 2, but, like, again, Civilization 5 is one of those games where, like, I'm playing it, and then I go, oh, like, 10 minutes have passed, right? And I look at the clock, and it's, like, 2 a.m., and it's really hard for a game to do that to me nowadays, because I feel like, now that I'm getting, like, older, my time is a lot more precious. So, when a game is actually able to do that to me, I think it's really something special. So, I'd vote for Civ 5.
Taylor?
I'm also voting...
Oh, Mick, sorry, yes, Mick.
I'm also voting for Civ 5.
Yeah.
Taylor?
I haven't played either of these, but I have enough passing interest in Civ 5 that I think it's something that I could enjoy. And even if I didn't, I would still play it over Mass Effect 2.
All right, Civ 5. Graham?
Mass Effect 2.
And I am going to be... It doesn't really matter who I vote for, but I'm going to be voting for Civ 5, so there we go.
Taylor, I really do like that opinion. It's like, no, I'm voting for Civ 5 because I get to say on Earth and not in space.
That is not what I said. But
right.
No, I know, but I read between the lines.
The next round, Red Steel 2 versus...
don't do this to me again.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World,
cool,
the game.
Because it's, you know.
Does anyone have any last thoughts about either of these games they'd like to try and sway the judges with?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I played in the basement of a friend that I no longer talk to.
I mean, that's the best place.
Take that for what you will.
That's the best place to play, apparently.
That's where I played it as well, actually. I think
wow.
The same guy? You knew him?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
No, of course not. What the hell were you doing in South Jersey around then?
Scott Pilgrim also just has an incredible visual style and a pretty good soundtrack.
Yeah.
So does Red Steel 2.
So, Clanky, what would you like to vote for today?
I'm gonna vote for Scott Pilgrim.
Mick, who would you like to vote for?
Red Steel 2.
Of course.
Taylor, who would you like to vote for?
Scott Pilgrim, please.
Ooh.
And Graham, who would you like to vote for?
I have to give it to Red Steel 2.
Yes!
Christian?
Guess what my vote is?
It's gonna be Red Steel.
It's Red Steel 2.
All right.
No.
I mean, Mick, you know what's coming up next.
My
so
wild card
this is
can't
as far
even
as
win
you
in a
It was Scott Pilgrim put up a good fight, but
I actually don't know what's going up next.
if it went up against Alan Wake, I may have changed my mind. Anyway, Alan Wake versus WarioWare DIY. Does anyone have anything they want to add?
Okay, Remedy Entertainment had like the only reason they made any games after Alan Wake was to make money to make Alan Wake 2. Are you really gonna put that up against the worst WarioWare game?
Okay.
No, WarioWare is WarioWare snapped.
Okay, fair enough.
And after that, there's still Game and Wario.
Yeah, it's true. Game and Wario sucks dick too.
It's okay. It's not that bad. But...
WarioWare DIY. WarioWare DIY. Might be one of the most interesting. WarioWare DIY might be one of the most interesting and most unique custom game maker customization things that I've ever played in my life.
Well, that being the case, it is at the end of the day a game where you make 5-second games. And as nice as that is,
This is
That's
spicy.
what WarioWare is, man.
This is spiced.
I didn't expect this, to be honest.
This is spiced.
This is some.
Sorry, Clanky, you won't be alone on this.
Well,
Well-
Mick, would you like to sell Alan Wake anymore, or you think you're good?
I mean,
Alan's my dad's name. That's pretty cool.
Is his last name Wake?
Taylor, your dad is Joe Pesci.
Did I mention that there's a lot of Twin Peaks references in it?
Oh, god damn it, Mick. Don't do this to me.
Mick, you can make as many Twin Peaks references as he want in WarioWare DIY.
Man, you compare Alan Wake to a lot of things that aren't Alan Wake.
Because that's what Alan Wake is. It's basically a
that
video
doesn't have
game
its own
pastiche.
identity?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No,
it's a pastiche. Pastiches aren't supposed to have their own identity.
If you steal from enough things, you become something original.
Yeah. Alan Wake doesn't do that, but like I say, it's a pastiche, and a pastiche is supposed to not be original. It's supposed to be aping something else. If they tried to be more original, it would be, well, you stole this from Stephen King, and then didn't really do anything interesting with it.
So what are you voting for?
Clanky.
Oh, I'm sorry. DIY.
Mick.
Okay.
Alan Wake.
Taylor.
When I made that micro game about punching a kid, I showed it to my teacher, and she laughed because she also hated the kid that I was punching.
my God.
And I didn't.
God.
So WarioWare.
Wow.
Graham.
Alan Wake.
I'm the tiebreaker again, and it's not even a contest, unfortunately. It's WarioWare.
I tried, Mick. I tried.
Mick, it was a good fight.
You got one of your two. You got one of your two in there.
I know.
Okay.
Can I just say, I really would have rather had Scott Pilgrim beat Red Steel 2 than Alan Wake lose to WarioWare DIY.
WarioWare DIY?
DIY is a very good game.
It stands for do it yourself.
I know, and that's what sucks. That Remedy can spend all of their money trying to make a game that they love, and then Nintendo can say, make your own games, and people are like, well, obviously that's the better one.
That's
They
my
also gave us their
true.
games.
That's my favorite review of WarioWare DIY. Is like, no, fuck you, you do it.
WarioWare is like Alpha Mario Maker.
Yeah. Anyway, Kirby's Epic Yarn versus Halo Reach. Can I say a few more things about Epic Yarn in its defense? Before we do the voting.
If you roast Galaxy 2, you're done.
There's no Galaxy 2 here to roast, but I can assure you I'll do it next time.
Okay.
But Kirby's Epic Yarn is...
Don't worry, the beatings will come. You will be beat. There is no escape.
Kirby's Epic Yarn is the kind of game that really subverts the idea of what a game can be, and I think that's very important. I think Halo Reach does a lot of great subversion tactics in its own story, but Kirby's Epic Yarn in its gameplay and just how where the real challenge of the game comes in, not in like living or dying, but in getting the collectibles, is truly interesting. And I think Kirby's Epic Yarn is a great, neat, like social experiment into the idea of games that are meant to solely be relaxing experiences and nothing else. So that's all I have to say.
Can I say one more thing in Halo Reach?
You saying
Yes.
Halo Reach isn't relaxing?
Maybe.
I mean, it can be. There are two missions that like I really love in Halo Reach, like because they changed things up in the Halo formula. One like there is like a mission where you control like basically a space starfighter, like you have to like shoot around, like shoot enemy ships, and it's just a really fun like little distraction. And there's another one where it's set in like a burning city. You have to use your like little helicopter to fly different places, but in between the location you have to go, there'll be random missions that will pop up. It's random each time you play it. Like one mission you can find Nathan Fillion, another one time you might not find Nathan Fillion.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, Clanky.
Halo Reach. You can find Nathan Fillion.
On the box.
Clanky sounds a lot like Mick these days.
Clanky, what would you like to vote?
It comes down to this. I'm more interested in playing Halo Reach than replaying Kirby's Epic Yarn, so I'm gonna give it to Halo Reach.
Wow.
Mick.
I mean, I'm giving it to Halo Reach because I mean, kind of sit like I've played Halo Reach, and like, listen, you can hit space emus with a jeep.
It is.
I gotta give it
that.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
What do you say about those spicy moose?
Taylor, your vote for prosperity.
I mean, you already know where I'm going because I've already said my piece about Halo. But to further cement the point, I went out and pre-ordered Kirby and the Forgotten Land today because I'm realizing that I'm slowly becoming more and more of a Kirby fan to the point that this is a game that I was never going to play, and now I do want to play Epic Yarn. So, yeah, Epic Yarn.
At least it got that. Graham?
Halo Reach.
Of course.
And I put in my vote for Epic Yarn, but Halo Reach is the win, Roar.
All right.
All right. We're going through these at a much more speedy pace. Now, in order to continue the losers bracket, we must move on with the regular bracket. So, are you all ready for the next round in the regular bracket?
Well, Professor, it's been fun.
Fallout New Vegas versus Professor Layton and the Unwound Future.
Listen, Professor Layton is the end of a trilogy of games. And in that sense, I think that it creates more payoff in its world than New Vegas can compared to its world of Fallout 3. Yes, New Vegas has Matthew Perry, but is that alone enough? Really?
It has Renee Auberjonois.
I don't know who either of those people are.
Matthew Perry was in Friends.
Renee
Which one was he?
Mr. House.
He was Chandler.
Which one was Chandler?
The dry one, the sarcastic one.
I've never seen Friends.
He was Benny.
Why? How did he get to Friends?
I wanted you to describe him.
Okay. Taylor, can I counteract your point? Because Fallout New Vegas is a send-off to a trilogy because it is technically
more
of a sequel to Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 than Fallout 3 is to Fallout 1 and 2.
Check the chat.
I mean, it's true. It had a lot more people like on staff. It's set in the same world.
Also,
am I capable of winning anyone over to Professor Layton's side today?
Not me.
Listen,
I don't
if
think
it was
so.
another game,
No.
probably.
Clanky?
Yeah.
Me.
I can win you over? Alright, look. Professor Layton in the Unwound Future is so good. Please don't
I like your strategy of pity.
Your Honor, the defense has started crying on the stands.
I just don't want. This is the farthest Professor Layton will go in any year.
Yeah, it worked in the OJ trial.
It just, listen, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a very original concept for a game. I don't feel like there are a lot of games like Professor Layton in the Unwound Future that have as much polish in their specific genre. Like, I actively go out and look for games that play like Professor Layton in the Unwound Future just because I am so addicted to the puzzles and how very much the game wants you to solve its puzzles. It gives you a lot of hints, and when you solve a puzzle, the game tells you why your answer is correct. That's something I've always appreciated because it basically always explains every puzzle to you. So sometimes, like, you'll get to a point where you just have to brute force a puzzle because you don't know the answer because you're not smart enough. And when you get it right, the game's like, good job. Here's why this is the correct answer. And I just like that. I always like understanding the puzzle in all layers. And every puzzle is like that. The puzzle creator Akira Togo, rest in peace, just did such a good job at handling these. And it's just and again, I just want to say the story of Unwound Future is like a really, really sweet one. But New Vegas is good too. I understand why New Vegas is going to win. I just am also very sad.
It's okay.
Can I put some sense in for new? Can I say something?
Mm.
So when you first create your character in New Vegas, the way they test your a doctor tests your mental health by showing you a bunch of ink blot tests. And one of them towards the end, you have the three options of a light and darkness, a bearded man, or a mushroom cloud. However, most people who look at it saw the same thing that wasn't an option. Two bears high-fiving. Later on in the DLC, in one of the DLCs where you go to Zion National Park and there is a pseudo-Native American tribe there, you can meet a man living in a cave whose name is Two Bears High-Fiving.
Oh my god!
There's a mod that also adds.
Yeah, that allows you. But the fact that you can actually
Yeah.
Like there's a character in game called Two Pairs High Five.
I mean, it didn't have to sell me on the game, but it just adds to the game for me.
That's the Honest Hearts DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say one last thing. I just wanted to specifically talk about the DLC because 3 out of 4 of them are amazing. One of them is just kind of good.
Which one is just kind of good?
Honest Hearts, in my opinion. Like it's one I'm like it's a one like when going back to I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta play. I know Taylor didn't like it, but I love Dead Money's more survival mechanics and just the themes of Dead Money.
I like Dead Money's story a lot.
Yeah, I like the story and the gameplay is what I'm getting at.
I think the gameplay is very frustrating.
I loved Old World Blues for its just weird wackiness, and I also liked Lonesome Road just because I loved like the finality of like giving you an arch nemesis. This conflict that's been built up through not just the main game, but each of the DLCs. Basically, coming into conflict with the person who caused every single thing in the game to happen to you. And I love that. And yeah, and I wish I could talk about mods, but I can't because mods are just how I play it.
It's all good.
I'll just say, critical thinking is the key to success. Professor Layton.
We can expect God to do all the work. Loads gun with malicious intent.
So, Clanky, why don't you do the vote really quickly?
Sure. I'm voting for Professor Layton.
Thank you, Clanky.
Mick?
Such a good human being.
Mick? Fallout New Vegas.
Taylor?
This debate reminds me of a puzzle.
I'm gonna say that's a vote for Professor Layton.
Yes, obviously.
Graham?
Fallout New Vegas.
And I'm the tiebreaker, and it wasn't very hard for me, unfortunately.
Oh, you know what? That's just adding insult.
That it is adding a bit of insult, but again,
Tell me that you agonized over it.
I'm feeling
Taylor,
spicy.
Taylor, at least the games you chose are games other people like. I'm alone in a fan club of 1.
I told you that Red Steel 2 is on my backlog.
Yeah.
Red Steel 2 is still in it. Red Steel 2 is still in the tournament.
I know, Red Steel 2 is still in it.
Alright,
And
next round.
Yeah.
Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver versus Super Meat Boy. Oh my god. Okay.
Pocket Monsters versus the Meat.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I feel like everything has been said already about these.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yes.
The problem is this really boils down to what you like more, a Pokemon game or a hard platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're two different animals, no pun intended.
Nobody has anything to add to these
I
two
actually
games.
don't think we talked about Pokemon very much, honestly.
We didn't really need to, I guess.
I feel like yeah, because I feel like everyone has a general.
Who cares?
Say a Pokemon game is a Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't talk about Pokemon anymore. It just never goes well.
Oh,
And it doesn't matter.
which is
Super Meat Boy
unfortunate.
is the better game.
It is true.
Taylor, you go first.
Super Meat Boy, always.
This
Graham?
is apparently an order known only to Christian and no one else.
Pokemon Heart Gold. I just love Pokemon.
I'm gonna put my vote in for Super Meat Boy. Mick, your vote?
I'm choosing Pokemon because Super Meat Boy is not my kind of game, and even though
Even though this is a Pokemon game with nothing new in it.
I mean...
Your words?
Yeah, no, exactly. But when I played it, it was new to me.
You're choosing Super Meat Boy, Mick?
No, I'm choosing,
Pokemon.
Jeez. Oh, no.
My brain.
No.
I'm so sorry, Clanky.
What's about to happen?
Oh, God.
Alright, Clanky, tiebreaker time.
What are you about to do, Clanky?
Taylor, to answer your question, I truly don't know. All right, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I have to give it to Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what has happened?
Wow.
Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver is making it in the big leagues.
Wow.
Flabbergasted.
Super Meat Boy out in round 2?
I know, right? Super Meat Boy is kind of my vice right now. So
Crazy things are happening.
God,
Yeah.
dude.
let's move on to the next round. We got Danganronpa versus.
Oh, this is gonna be controversial.
I'm John Marston, the ultimate cowboy.
Listen, we've said before, Danganronpa is arguably the weakest Danganronpa. I mean, not counting Ultra Despair Girls.
Yeah. I almost put a game that I didn't play over Danganronpa 1, and it's...
Yeah, and well, I think Danganronpa still nails its concept and themes. we didn't talk about this. Its minigames kind of suck.
Oh yeah,
They do.
so true.
Red Dead Redemption has liar's dice.
So Taylor, why don't you start us off then?
I was always more of a five-finger fillet guy personally, but
Yeah, I do like the 5-finger fillet in Red Dead Redemption.
I was terrible at it. But,
I think Red Dead also helped me learn how to play Texas Hold'em, which was pretty cool. Let's just talk about the minigames. I love Red Dead Redemption. I like Danganronpa, but Red Dead Redemption, please.
Graham, your vote?
My vote is there is a bit of recency bias, but like as much as I love Red Dead Redemption, like I honestly I can't imagine really going back to playing it like nowadays, just because Red Dead Redemption 2. Also, doesn't mean out like I can see myself going very easily back to Danganronpa, but I feel like that's just more of well, it's just more of like yeah, I think everything.
The story without playing it.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's very, very close. I think I have to give it to Danganronpa just because I can see.
Wow.
I feel like I feel like they're similar enough games to Red Dead Redemption. I can't really see many things that are like as like unique in style and influence as Danganronpa.
Ace Attorney, but that's another.
As much as I want to support Danganronpa myself, because I love Danganronpa 2 and V3, I'm going to give it to Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Clanky, it's actually your turn.
Okay. If I can be completely honest, I almost want to give the vote to Danganronpa, but, I mean, I know we're not really judging it based on sequels, but I really do feel like 2, and even to some extent 3, do a lot of things better than Danganronpa 1 does. So I feel like because of that, I do want to give it to Red Dead.
And Mick, you're the last vote.
Red Dead Redemption.
All right. And finally, oh boy. Okay, all right. Let's. So we're under a time constraint here, so we can't get too into this, but
just let's. All right.
Can I say I honestly don't care which one wins this. I might even decide with a coin flip.
Wow.
I would say pick which one's title seems funnier to you.
I mean,
no.
Okay.
Rather than a
that's
coin
a dangerous
flip.
game because you know how much I love caves, Christian.
But Taylor, you actually start off the voting on this one.
Look, I think Cave Story is a good game. I think Mario Galaxy 2 is a far more fun game. I think it's got far more diversity in its platforming-based challenges. And while Cave Story probably objectively has a better story, Mario Galaxy 2 is just so incredibly fun to play with such an incredible amount of polish. And I love it, and you should all vote for it.
Graham?
I still have to give it to Mario Galaxy. I'm sorry, it has Rosalina in it.
I'm going to give it to Cave Story.
Hang on, why?
Wow.
Because as much as I do like Galaxy 2, Cave Story as a game has been... Its influence is mind-boggling. And it probably honestly influenced a lot of my, like, top 5 favorite games of all time. And for that, Cave Story, learning that Cave Story is a Metroidvania today has actually really opened up a lot of doors for me.
I'm sorry, I need to say something. It's, like, we're calling it a Metroidvania, and I'm not doing this to sway you. I truly believe that it is not really Metroidvania in the sense that you do not use the things you get in Cave Story to backtrack to previous areas. It is a very progressive from one place to the next. You go in a linear direction. You will occasionally go back, but you don't get upgrades to increase your progression other than a jetpack. You primarily just change around your arsenal, which really its only purpose is for combat. It is not Metroidvania in the same way that something like Guacamelee or Castlevania or Ori and the Blind Forest.
Well, with all of that in mind, I still think that Cave Story has a lot going for it, and as a lot of things that honestly really could put it in the top 50 for me when I do eventually get around to playing it.
It is good.
Yeah. And I think, if I think it's going to be a top 50 contender when I do get around to playing it, that does put it above Galaxy 2. For me, personally. Clanky, your vote.
Cave Story.
And Mick, your vote.
Jeannie, Jordan, do you guys want to have my vote? Because I honestly...
If you really, really don't want to vote, you can pass it to Jordan or Jeannie.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Because if that doesn't happen, I am going to say I'm choosing Cave Story because funny cave game.
All right, then I'll do
okay,
it.
Jordan,
Super
you do
Mario
it. Yeah.
Galaxy 2.
You pick Super Mario Galaxy 2? All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Submit
Dang.
scores. Yeah, we were close with that Cave Story one. We were close with that.
That was a good fight.
So, now let's quickly move on to the losers round 2, and this will be the last 4 in a row that we have to do today, before we go into our 2 in a rows. We're making good time, actually. We haven't even done this for 30 minutes. Cave Story versus Civ 5. Anyone have any thoughts? Anything to add?
I think we all know how this is going.
I do know how this is going, but I'm still giving my vote to Cave Story because A, I've played it. It's a genre I prefer, and it's very possible that when I play Civ, I could like it more than Cave Story, but that would dismiss the fact that I have played it and liked it a lot. I can't project that I might like something more when I haven't played it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Graham, your vote?
I could finally vote for Sid Meier's Fire, the game I put 1,000 hours in.
Yes, you can finally do it. And guess what? I'm voting for it too. And Clanky.
Is voting for Civ Myers, Civilization 5.
And Mick.
Civ Myers.
Civilization 5. Clanky can vote for me.
Wow.
It goes without saying.
I can't believe that round was so wacky. I can't
So
believe...
Cave Story went from potentially being a point away from going on to being shellacked out of it.
Yeah, it was very close. Poor Cave Story.
Civ 5 against too many really good games.
Guys, didn't we just do this round?
Don't hurt
my
me
God.
again.
Listen, in terms of wacky concepts, these both are making names for themselves. But this is where I can finally vote for Danganronpa, because dude, the atmosphere, I remember the game made me feel. The game caught me so much in its atmosphere that I had to stop playing for a day.
Graham, your vote?
This is nothing. It's not going to sway anybody, but it's want you all know that when we played Danganronpa, we gave Kirigiri the Benoit Blanc accent from Knives Out.
Compels me though.
Let's do. So Graham, you're voting for Danganronpa?
I'm voting for Danganronpa.
And I'm voting for Danganronpa as well. Sorry, Mick. Clanky, your vote?
Danganronpa.
And Mick?
I mean, do we need to?
Yeah.
Do we need to get hurt again?
We do need to.
Hang on. Wait, can I try crying this time? I did try that last time. It's
a little late now, Mick.
Now the prosecution has started crying too.
Let me remind you, Mick. I still lost.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still gonna lose too. So.
All right, Mick. Is it Red Steel 2?
It's Red Steel 2.
You want to take 15 seconds of silence for Red Steel 2?
Nah.
How about we take?
Can I say the one I'm really disappointed by is that Alan Wake lost to WarioWare DIY. That is I genuinely feel like what's going on?
Please.
Can I just say? And this is a reference that I think that I think Jordan will get and no one else. And it's I know how Cardinals fans feel about The Call.
Yeah, I have no concept of that reference. You guys deliberate over this for a little bit.
Super Meat Boy is Super Meat Boy, man.
Taylor, do you want to make your vote, actually?
Super Meat Boy is Super Meat Boy, man.
That sounds like a vote to me. Graham?
WarioWare.
I'm voting for Super Meat Boy. Clanky?
Graham, I can't thank you enough, and I appreciate it. WarioWare.
And Mick.
We can't expect God.
You're happy, Mick.
We can't expect God to do all the work. Load Super Meat Boy with malicious intent.
Oh my God.
So
I
wait.
understand, Mick. No hard feelings,
he's
right?
voting for Meat Boy to spite WarioWare.
Oh my God.
No hard feelings, right, Mick?
I just had something I can add to Fallout New Vegas when it comes up again.
Right, Mick, please. Say yes, Mick, please.
It's over. Thank you.
It's over. Super Meat Boy's the win roar.
Mick, please.
Listen, Clanky, if it makes you feel better, I'm about to lose my last hope.
Yeah.
Yep, this one's going to be a little hard. This one's going to be a little tricky.
All right, so, do you guys like puzzles?
I don't. I hate them.
Puzzles
Not as much as I like liberating a planet and then miserably failing to liberate that planet from the Covenant.
Listen, in the Unwound future, usually you can only solve puzzles as 2 characters. In this game, you can solve puzzles as 4 characters. And all that means is that you get like little puzzle animation solving screens, and it's cool.
That's 4 times the amount of puzzles I don't want to do.
It's actually 2 times, and it has nothing to do with the amount of puzzles. But there are more puzzles in this game than there had been in any game thus far.
That makes it worse for me.
That's not a good argument for someone who says they hate puzzles.
I want less puzzles.
All right, well, Christian, if you just want to brute force your way through the story, that's what hint coins are for. You can just pay for them to solve.
Wait a minute. There's an economy.
Microtransactions. So the way the game works is you navigate across like, let's call them like visual novel artwork screens, right? Like picture a background setting in a visual novel that you can tap on, right? And you just tap all over and you find coins and you use those coins to solve puzzles.
Can I spend real money to get those coins as well?
No.
Oh.
But would that not be? If I had said yes, would you really have voted for it?
No, but it would have been funny if I did jokingly say yes then.
It would have been a worse game if you had to pay for your hint coins.
I know.
Yeah.
That would make me think about voting for it, because it'd be like, wow, you've really ruined the last game of the franchise like that?
No.
You know what, Nintendo?
It's not the last game in the franchise. It's the last game in the original trilogy. Then they made a second trilogy.
I see.
It is at the end of the Layton timeline because the second trilogy are prequels.
All right. Taylor, I assume I know what your vote is for.
Yeah, I think we can guess that one.
Please vote for it.
Graham.
I think we know what Graham's voting for.
I'm wrong game, but I'm finishing this fight. Halo Reach.
Right game. I'm reaching with Halo Reach. Clanky, your vote?
You really are reaching.
All right. I really went up for bat for Professor Layton as much as I could. Halo Reach.
Clanky, don't leave me alone on this.
And Mick for posterity.
No.
I gotta say, it's... I want to come up with another clever joke as well, but, like, it'd be a real...
You're calling my joke clever?
But in order to come up with, like, a pun like you did, Christian, like, I mean, it would be a...
Oh, just fire the trigger.
It would be a real Professor Layton and the Unwound future.
Wait, are you voting for Professor Layton?
Fuck it, who cares? Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, fuck it. For posterity, let's go.
I don't understand. What?
I don't know, I think
I don't understand either.
Hang on.
I like it a lot better
actually,
with that
you actually
punchline.
prefer Halo Reach, right?
I haven't played either. I think actually, if I played Professor Layton, I think I might actually prefer Professor Layton to Halo Reach. Like, I love Halo Reach, and I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, alright, and everything. But, like, I love puzzles.
You know what? Puzzles. Honestly, that was the most earnest thing anyone but me has said about this game tonight. And
That Halo Reach can hit an emu with a car.
I take it all back. I'm back on side of Reach. No, I'm joking.
So
almost gonna make me feel better when Mick pulls Mario Galaxy 2 apart in a few minutes.
We're in round 3. We are getting to the thick of it. We are in the home stretch. Our next round, Fallout New Vegas versus Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
This shouldn't be that.
Okay.
I'm going to switch the voting order, by the way. The voting order is now going to start with Graham.
Okay. I voted for Fallout New Vegas because, as much as Honest Hearts was like my least favorite DLC, it's still good. It's just like not one I like really like want to go back to. It does have one of my favorite quotes just in like video games in general. Like one that, if we did have a graduated purchase and I was allowed to like put like some kind of design on my hat, I would want to like have this quote on it. When you talk to Joshua Graham, I'm also not playing favorites on name basis.
Yeah. Okay.
You can ask him. He was basically at one point covered in tar, lit on fire, thrown into the Grand Canyon.
Tarred and feathered?
Tarred and feathered.
Not tarred and feathered, just tarred.
Yeah, just tarred. But
that's significantly less fun.
Fire is a kind of feather, but we don't have time to unpack all that. You can ask him how he survived. He just says, "I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the flames around me."
Oh,
it's amazing.
That is a great line.
Great.
Graham, which one are you voting for?
How it goes over now. Fallen Divisions.
And now it is my turn, and I have to give it to Pokemon. And now it is Clanky's turn.
I'm glad it's not going to be a full sweep. I'm giving it to Pokemon as well.
Go to Mick.
Yep, Mick.
Go to Mick.
Mick, you are...
In the best of all possible worlds, they would just leave us in peace. But they won't. Fallout New Vegas.
Wow.
All right, Taylor, you're the tiebreaker.
You know what? This might be the hardest one.
Really?
Really?
Actually, because here's the thing. When I first saw this, I'm like, oh, so obviously Fallout New Vegas. Wait a minute, what did I just say out loud in my head?
Yeah, it's because Heart Gold and Soul Silver is, like, actually great Pokemon games.
Yeah.
This is very difficult, actually, because it's like Fallout New Vegas is something that I don't have as much nostalgia for, but in the last moments of playing it, like, was really solidly made. Whereas Heart Gold and Soul Silver represents, like, all of this time that I spent with Generation 2 and Pokemon, seeing it revitalized and reimagined. And there's a Battlefront here. But so I'm actually looking at my own top 200 now, because I don't have Heart Gold and Soul Silver ranked because Emerald is my favorite Pokemon and I didn't want to have repeats. So I'm just seeing how far in comparison, and it should be no contest. And yet...
Hey Taylor, can I make an argument that might help you?
Go ahead.
A lot of times, whenever I'm telling you about a game or you're asking for a recommendation, one of the things you almost always come to is, does it allow me to make choices that matter?
Yeah, I really do. That really is something that New Vegas has done for me, and it's just fucking... Listen, I'm gonna say that if this is another day, this could go in a very different direction, because this is closer than I actually thought. So I do not swear that this will always be the way I feel. I think today I'm gonna say New Vegas, which is weird. It's strange. It really is strange, because I do feel like I prefer Pokemon as a franchise, and I feel like I may have more memories of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but I feel like right now in this moment, games like Fallout New Vegas make me happier, and it may just be because Pokemon has been pissing me off lately.
It's just that, look, there are factors. There are sometimes external factors as to the placements of certain things on our list.
Soul Silver was never a bad Pokemon game to me, so it's still weird. It is still weird.
So,
can I just say, if Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver was up against Danganronpa, I would have been defending it right there with you.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If it was
it was just in the unfortunate position of it had to be against Red Steel 2, and I'm like, listen, I can't let my son die.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of Mick's games have been killed by my niche taste.
By mice?
Mice. So, are you all ready for this?
Oh
It's
God.
also really hard, to be honest.
I have my way of thinking how it's gonna go. You guys prove me wrong.
Do we want to talk a little bit before Graham votes?
We can talk all you want, but I'm still voting Red Dead Redemption, because Super Mario Galaxy 2 going up against a game I have actually played and enjoy means I have to go with Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. I'm next, and I have no idea. I'm leaning towards Red Dead Redemption right now. Yeah, I think I'm going to put in my vote for Red Dead Redemption as well. Yeah. Clanky, your turn.
Yeah, I can't vote for Mario Galaxy in good consciousness, or Galaxy 2, so I'm voting for Red Dead.
Mick for posterity?
Red Dead Redemption.
Taylor?
You know what? I'm still going Galaxy 2.
Wow, we were so
sticking
close
up for we were very close to a sweep.
Every good captain goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what? I like platformers more. I feel like Galaxy 2 was easier to go back to.
And you know what? Galaxy 2
that's going to be a tough one coming
that
up.
was going to be tough.
Galaxy 2 is not done.
Can I just say, Taylor, I actually 100% agree that it was 100% probably easier to go back to Galaxy 2 than it is to New Vegas. Like, starting an RPG from the beginning, oh, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, you're right. That is going to be tough later.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption is not as long as you'd think, honestly. But, like,
Red Dead
still,
Redemption?
Yeah, it's like, in comparison to other Rockstar games, it's still like, you could actually potentially get more hours out of Galaxy 2, actually, but it's still like, depends on, it's like how you
But the
play
thing
it.
is, it probably feels like a bigger commitment to go back to Red Dead Redemption.
Absolutely.
So, Civ 5 versus Danganronpa. I'm still going to keep the same order until we're done with these next 2 rounds. So, Graham, you start. Good luck, by the way.
I know. Yeah, Danganronpa, just because, again, like...
Wait, what?
It's just so
Wow.
unique. No, not recency bias. It's still just so unique and so fun, and...
You know what, this might be kind of similar to how I was when it was New Vegas versus Civ 5, where it's like... Where it's like, I love both of these games, but Civ 5, I can get my Civ fix elsewhere.
Right.
There's only really one place where I can get my New Vegas fix.
Yeah, I guess there is only one place, 3 places you can get your Danganronpa fix.
And like, Sid Meier, like, I played it so much, but it's just like, it's kind of just become like, it is just like a background game, like a comfort game.
I kind of get it. Like, there is a point where you can play a game so much that it almost feels like... It's kind of like how, like, I've played Mario 64 so much that I don't even like it as much anymore.
Well, no, I played Sid Meier's 5 so much, it's growing out of my body.
The 5 is emboldened on my neck. What's going on? I'm going to vote for Civ 5 because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Clanky?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like Danganronpa, but
I know.
I can't vote for Danganronpa in good faith. I have to go Civ.
Mick?
Civ 5. And I'm assuming for the rest of you.
Mick, it'll be funny.
But,
yes.
I wanted to say, I'm assuming for the rest of you, this might have been a harder choice if it was a different Danganronpa game.
Yes, it would have absolutely been more difficult.
If it was DR2, it would have been a very tough choice.
Well, except for Ultra Disparacles, obviously. Even I know about that, and I'm not even a big fan.
I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's also...
I hear it's rough.
DR2 we're playing through it, and I'm voicing Gundam because I was kin assigned to Gundam by my friend who had played all the games.
And aren't you voicing Fuyuhiko as well?
Yes.
Oh, so great.
You fucking, like, worst boss, like, gangsta accent ever. It's fun.
Fuyuhiko's the best. So, Taylor, your vote for posterity?
I mean, it's the same thing I said, like, versus Cave Story. Like, I've played Danganronpa, and I also really like Danganronpa, so even though Sid Meier's still has the potential to be better than Danganronpa.
Alrighty. Sorry, Danganronpa. It sucks to see you go, because you were my backup.
We have 10 minutes. This is gonna be a lightning round.
Super Meat Boy versus Halo Reach. Okay.
I think no more arguments. Let's just go down the...
Well, Graham, what do you think?
Yeah, Halo Reach.
Yeah.
And I'm Super Meat Boy. And Clanky.
This is actually kind of tough, but I think I think I'm gonna go with Reach.
Oh, fuck you. Oh,
Mick?
Because Mick is gonna go Halo Reach.
Yeah, I have to say Halo Reach as well. Sorry.
I hate to see it go. I hate to see it go.
Oh, Clanky, you traitor.
Taylor.
Oh, Super Meat Boy.
I'm sorry.
Can I say this also hurts me because I don't even really like Halo Reach nearly as much as some of these other games, but
well, Halo Reach will be gone soon then if you don't like it that
probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I hate to see Super Meat Boy go, but I think that's all of the games that I can say a lot about gone, basically.
Yeah, same here.
I only have one horse in this race.
Let's go from the top down. So let's do the really hard one next. Fallout New Vegas versus Red Dead Redemption.
Is this the final round of the top?
This is the second to final round. Then it's gonna.
This is the final round of the winners.
Yeah, if there was no losers bracket, this would be.
Then this would be who the winner is going to be.
Wow.
So I'm gonna switch the voting order now. It's going to go Mick, Taylor, Graham, me, Clanky.
I think, and I'm just as surprised as the rest of you. I think I might choose Red Dead Redemption.
Alrighty. Taylor, your vote?
You know, there's a grander scale to Fallout New Vegas than Red Dead Redemption, but I am kind of in the mindset that there are times when a game can just be, and I'm not saying that Fallout New Vegas is, but in comparison to these two, Fallout New Vegas has the potential to be overwhelming at points with how much there is. And even though there's a lot of narrative freedom, Red Dead Redemption, I feel like, uses each element of its world to its credit, and I think I still prefer the story, and I just like it more.
All right, Graham.
I have to guess the Fallout New Vegas, just because it's sort of like the same vein as sort of like Sid Meier's with Red Dead is. If I had to choose between, like, I can play Red Dead 2 if, like, I really want to get my Red Dead fix. But
like I said, there's only one game for the New Vegas fix.
Yeah.
Like, people are, like, the fact that
play the Outer World.
Obsidian, and yeah, but there's so much like Fallout lore. The fact that Obsidian and Microsoft are under, not Microsoft, Bethesda are on the same banner now. The fact that people were so excited for that just to get a New Vegas sequel, I feel like that just proves that there's still just only one New Vegas and still only one king.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna vote for New Vegas 2.
Wow.
Because
I'm really making a Clanky. Good luck.
Yep, as much as Red Dead Redemption, I've played it and I did like it. Fallout New Vegas, you guys have sold me on New Vegas with how much you've described to me and how much there is to do and what there is to do.
You can save an Elvis impersonator's robot dog.
Yeah, like
I will say, in detriment to Fallout 3, it is just the same way that you guys talk about how the Galaxy 2 is just another Galaxy 1. I understand that New Vegas takes the elements of Fallout 3 and makes them better, but New Vegas is just more Fallout 3 in so many ways.
I guess I'll have to be the judge of that when I do play
in some ways, yeah, but like
the interface is the same, the world looks the same, the Pip-Boy is the same. It's
that's just the engine.
Yeah, no, that's just the engine and like the UI and stuff. But the game's got a completely different spirit.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
so
a lot of the quests are the main quests are all named their songs.
Oh, dodges, JoJo!
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Ding ding ding.
Pick two people to piss off.
I am really sorry that like I haven't played either of these games, so like it really just doesn't. What does it matter? But out of both of them, the one I'm more interested in playing is Red Dead, so I have to go with Red Dead.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm content with this. I will say, if New Vegas had won, it's just because I already know. I kind of already have an idea of who's going to win the losers bracket.
So I mean, we have a bit of an idea, but let's go through these really quickly. And see what was the order? It was Mick. So Mick, you start.
Sid 5.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Soul Silver.
Graham.
Civ 5.
I'm gonna vote Civ 5. Clanky.
Yeah.
I'm also voting Civ 5.
All right.
All right.
This might be. I'm kind of hoping for a redemption arc here for Civ 5, but we'll see. I'm kind of hoping for a Civ 5 redemption arc. Let's see over here. Well, actually, this is going to be a retread of the very first round. So.
Wow. Oh, come on.
So Super Mario Galaxy 2 versus Halo Reach.
Galaxy 2. I'm voting before you say I can.
But Mick is going to put in his vote first.
Halo Reach.
And Taylor, your Galaxy 2?
Yes.
Yes.
And Graham?
Halo Reach.
And I'm going to put in Halo Reach.
Fuck you.
And Clanky?
I'm also picking Halo Reach.
Wow.
I think the thing I hate the most about this bracket is all the Galaxy 2 hate.
We should have seen it coming, honestly.
Hey, at least your choices got somewhere.
I really
no, but you know what? It's like nobody had anything against that. Like, you guys actually are like...
That's true. That's fair. I can understand that.
I voted for Galaxy 2 when we did the Galaxy 2 versus Kirby's Epic Yarn.
What? You voted for it, but you don't like it.
Well, yeah, I guess you got a point. Sid Meier's Civilization 5 versus Halo Reach.
Wow.
Mick, you start us off.
Civ 5.
Civ
Taylor.
5.
Graham.
Halo Reach.
I'm going to say Civ 5. Clanky for posterity?
Yeah, Civ 5.
Come on. Don't let this be like last time.
5,000.
Christian, it's hopeless. We might as well just accept defeat.
Graham or Mick has to change their mind, and then we might have a chance.
I don't think it's happening, dude. I really
Come
wish
on, come on.
I think it is.
I'd just like to argue one more thing to Mick and Graham, because we're
This
almost
is
done.
exactly what we started with.
We're almost done with the bracket. We have time to argue.
I can be swayed.
Okay, all right, okay. So
Okay.
think about it like this. Does New
You
Vegas
get swayed now, then this whole journey was for nothing.
Mick,
Dude, no. Shh. Can you play New Vegas with friends?
Mods.
Okay.
Mo-
with mods,
yeah,
fine.
in Civ
No,
5, you
we're
don't
not-
need
we're not
mods.
we're not counting mods.
In Civ
Yeah,
5,
but
you
you're
don't
winning.
need mods.
What I will say is that Civ 5 becomes a very different game when you play it with other people. And that, on top of the fact that you can also, like, have different endings or different ways to win, I think there's so much value in Civ 5. Think about all the fun times we had playing Civ 5.
New
man.
Vegas
You
also
were there,
has
Christian.
multiple endings,
Feeny was
completely
there.
crafted by its narrative
Ian
experience.
was there. Wasn't it
Nick,
so much fun?
You said, Nick, that there are multiple games like Civ 5,
Mick.
but you can only get your New Vegas from New Vegas.
Think of, wouldn't Civilization 4 be happy that you voted for Civilization 5?
Nick, I
can't do this
remember-
to me.
I
Oh,
remember-
goodness.
Nick, I remember you were telling me at length why you loved Caesar's Legion in New Vegas so much, and you presented a perspective that I wasn't even able to see because I just went and slaughtered them without even talking to Caesar.
Mick, you could play as Venice and just buy all the city-states and kill everyone else!
Mick, you have a yes man robot who's going to do whatever the fuck you say.
I can't take it anymore. I
Nick,
can't
please,
take it anymore.
listen.
We're breaking Mick.
If you vote for New Vegas, the final vote will be Red Dead Redemption versus New Vegas.
And do you want to make that decision again?
Mick, in the Dead Money DLC, there's a super mutant named Dog, and when you play a tape on cassette, he becomes God.
You can have your great artist be named Bill Clinton.
Okay, let's
Doctor
just
O.
vote. Let's just vote. We're not helping anything.
No, we're really not.
Mick, what are you voting for? Take as much time as you need.
I'm.
Don't gasp like that. No more swaying. No more swaying the jury.
While he's thinking, let's make sure this is still a tiebreaker, right? So I vote for New Vegas.
All right, sure. Yeah, that's actually a good call. Graham.
I actually am voting for Civ 5.
What
Yeah,
the
figured.
hell of this
Wow.
for nothing.
Clanky.
Because, like, I'll explain after the vote.
No, Civ 5.
And I vote for Civ 5.
And Nick's vote is entirely meaningless.
All right, Mick.
Oh, well, great. My vote's meaningless. Listen. I don't know. Fuck it. Kumquats. I don't know. Submit the scores without me. Who cares? I don't know.
Kumquats.
Now you can
A
pick.
weight has been lifted from my shoulders.
You
Pick
still
one
have
at-
to vote, Nick.
Pick one at random.
Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny. Yeah.
Taylor Reach.
Listen, Taylor's lonely, and I know what it's like to be lonely, because I was there for Red Steel 2 and Alan Wake, so I'm going to join Taylor in Fallout New Vegas territory, even though I think I might actually want to choose Civ 5.
It's weird. I was very
You're
neutral to
bad,
New
Nick.
Vegas, even though it's in my top.
All right.
You
that's
just
very
bad,
high.
Nick.
Now's our chance.
Let's do it.
The final round. And we're
You know
going to go
what?
back to the original voting order for this one. Does anyone want to say anything before we do
My name
this?
is John Morris.
I want to explain why I voted for Civ 5.
Mhm.
I think what sold it for me is, as I was thinking, like, yeah, Fallout New Vegas, like, it allows me to, like, they're both games that allow me to, like, play a character. I feel like most of the time for me, that character ends up being, like, the power-hungry warlord. I wish I could play more, like, Civ 5 multiplayer.
Christian, okay.
Yeah.
I have played a little bit in the past, but not enough. Obviously, not enough like all of you. Hopefully, like we can change that.
Yes, we should.
So, yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed. Let's do it.
To what? I'm sorry. What?
We're gonna do Civ 5 multiplayer. You're all invited. If you ever want to buy, if you want Civ 5, let me know. If you don't own Civ 5 and you want it, let me know.
Yeah. Again, like.
Right,
If
but
it's Red Dead Redemption 2 would be no contest, but the first Red Dead Redemption, yeah, it's like it's kind of like a weird, but like it's sort of like a Danganronpa situation where because there's only 2 games, Red Dead Redemption kind of has to be the worst game in my opinion. That's even then, like, the worst Red Dead Redemption game is probably better than most games. But for me, Civ 5, again, I have 1,000 hours in it.
So you're putting Civ 5 as your vote?
Yes. And I haven't finished Red Dead Redemption.
So let's go in. I like the order we're going in. Taylor, you put in your vote.
I don't want to go next.
Oh, okay. Mick, you put in your vote.
I don't want to go next. No, I'm joking.
It is thundering behind me. This is a battle of the ages.
It was thundering behind me too. What the? It's just like a stroke of lightning.
It's almost as if we all live near each other.
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
You Mr. Jersey man.
Yeah, it was raining an hour ago.
Yeah. An hour ago, you could have warned us.
I can't wait until my target has a PS5 so I can finally see Christian in person again.
I'll come see you without the PS5. Don't worry about it. I know how to drive now, so I'll figure it out.
Drive to Jersey.
I'll drive out to Jersey when I get comfortable enough to drive on the Jersey Turnpike. Anyway,
drive left to Jersey.
Next Monday, you wanna like
keep going.
Next Monday might be tough, but the Monday after, ooh, poggin.
Okay.
Anyway, who wants to vote?
I'll vote.
Yeah.
It's kind of no contest for me. Civ Meyer, Civilization 5.
Yeah.
Mick and Taylor, do either of you want to vote?
I think I might actually throw my... Civ 5.
And to get it out of the way,
as soon as you said that, thunderstruck.
I also vote for Civ 5. And Taylor, you are the final vote.
I think what's most disappointing about this is that I kind of knew that like this group is a very big Civ 5 crew, and I got nothing against the game. I guess it's just kind of disappointing that the winner of all of this is going to be a game I've never even played.
It can be disappointing, but that's what next year's for.
Yeah, but that doesn't shows like how much you should play it.
Yeah.
To be fair, if the final vote was New Vegas and Red Dead Redemption, both of them would have been games that I haven't played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
it would have happened to someone. Basically.
It would be nice. It would be nice, but that's gonna happen at some point.
Honestly, almost it's like it's at the same time. You know what, guys? It's refreshing just because like it's not something you'd normally see. I think. When people talk about the very best game of 2010, even though everyone likes it, especially when it's right up here against Red Dead Redemption, which is, you know, one of the best games I've ever played. And even though I would love for this last one to be a 5-0, it's still got to be Red Dead, man.
Yeah.
But that's submit score.
Yeah, I honestly thought Red Dead was going to be the win.
Me too.
The whole thing.
End the tournament. And I couldn't be happier myself, personally.
And all because Graham had to flip-flop.
Look, I explained why.
Sid Meier's lost in the first round, and then it won.
I just want to say, if loser brackets didn't exist, Red Dead would be the winner.
Yeah, but loser brackets are great. I like loser brackets.
Hey, you know what? Good bracket.
Good bracket, guys.
Great. I feel like outside of Galaxy 2, this is a very respectful bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still salty about Alan Wake losing to WarioWare DIY.